And welcome back to ScavTalk, everyone. Today's episode, we're going to be discussing the wipe. Patch 14 is here and among us. Sus. But, yeah, that's the big topic. The craziest update in a while. Lots of new systems, mechanics, features, possibly bugs. Who knows? I haven't really encountered anything crazy right now. But yeah, it seems pretty good. The new map's great. I think it's cool. Sure, we'll talk more about it, but how's it been so far for you, Giga? What level are you, and what shenanigans have you gotten into?
Yeah, it's gone pretty well so far. I think I was just actually reopening the game again, so I can just double check and see. But I am level 10. It has gone extremely well so far. Like last wipe I had a real good start, and this wipe I've also had a pretty good start too, I would say. So especially at the beginning. Well, in game terms. So I tried to stream it when it opened out at like 1, and the first raid that I got into was at 10 p.m. So the first day was brutal, and I was feeling like extreme FOMO.
Yeah.
Because like other people were in, like Jesse was testing recoil and like running around and like looking at the new map and stuff, and I was just like, let me in. Like this feels so bad. Like day one, just completely unable to get in. Like loads of people were playing. Like there was other people in the same situation as me. I know that there's in one of the discords where there's like a bunch of creators for some other thing. There was Trey and a few other people were locked out as well. But yeah, it was like it felt like 75% of people could get in and play because they were there like right at the beginning. I didn't realize that the game had gone live until someone said in Discord, and I was like, oh crap. And so I downloaded it, but I was too late. I was already too late for the auth servers. They'd gone down at that point, and then I just literally couldn't get in. So yeah, it took me a long time to actually get into the raids at all, which was sad. But then when I did, it was good. The very first raid I played, obviously on Ground Zero, the new map, and I got head-eyed by Toz Scav at the exit, which was fantastic on raid 1. But after that, I then survived 14 straight raids in a row.
Oh, hey, you got the achievement.
Which was insane. I think maybe let's have a look.
I think I forget what it's called. My buddy was going for it last night.
What's it called?
I don't know. I think it's 10 in a row.
I don't seem to have it.
Oh. Liar.
I don't have it. Which is annoying because it says on my profile 14 longest survival streak. But anyway.
I think it's 10 in a row.
Maybe it's 15, then I'll be really annoyed. But yeah, so then today I played a little bit more and I've had much less success. I died like three raids literally back to back. So it's just, flipped around and changed or whatever. But given that I had such a big head start, it kind of feels okay. So my survival rate's still like 73%, which is good. But yeah, playing a lot of Ground Zero, as you might imagine, to begin with, because all the starter quests are there. So what level have you got to? Just so we're kind of on the same page.
9.
Level 9.
17 Perfect. Raids.
Nice. Oh, you've been a lot more efficient than me. I played 23.
Yeah. Well, I had 2 run-throughs, and I think one of them was just to get the car quest done. I've been playing with a group of friends, so they've circled back around. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's like we were like trying to get caught up, so I like took the car, and then they went and did their thing, which is fine.
Yeah. So yeah, so Ground Zero. I mean, if we go and look at the patch notes to start with, because you may as well. We have got some funky stuff. So the first part is actually about Ground Zero itself. So as it says, it's situated in the city center of Tarkov. It is the skyscrapers bits, the piece that you can see from the other maps with all the tall towers. It is that section. Large number of infrastructure facilities where the most violent clashes between USEC, PMC, and Oman, which I looked up on stream, and they're like Russian riot police apparently, took place. So the terror group building is like destroyed. This is sort of the beginning of the story. I guess now that we are being launched on Ground Zero, this is like when 1.0 comes out. That is where you will begin the game, I guess, because it's like Terror Group HQ or whatever. I'm not really sure what the background of your PMC is supposed to be, like lore-wise, being there to begin with. Like maybe you stumble out of the Terror Group headquarters or whatever. I don't really know. But yeah, so you now spawn here. And I just love the fact that it says, so the very first bullet point on it says, this location is intended for beginner players from level 1 to 20. And like, this has been probably the biggest point of contention in my chat the entire time, because everyone was expecting it to be a starter location, right? And from playing it so far, my takeaways, I mean, I don't know whether you agree or disagree with this take, but I do think that the map is good. I really think the map is great, by the way.
Yeah.
But there are way too many players all on top of each other. So it's just like a spawn fight frenzy. For new players, it's not really very good. The map is small but kind of hard to navigate because you have to just like run across roads and stuff. So you make yourself quite easy pickings, and it's very vertical. So unless you're quite experienced with Tarkov audio, it can be very confusing.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
And then they've added my favorite, like honestly, my favorite thing about it, and it is, I did laugh when I heard about this. My favorite thing is the fact that there is literally a room, and I know it says on the outside, but there's so much going on the Tarkov map. Like if you read everything, you'd never move, right? So you go into one building, and then in the office underneath the desk, there's literally a claymore that kills you, and it's a claymore too. It's not like a landmine like on Woods. Like you just die. It's like a claymore from Lighthouse from up on the rocks. So you just die, and it's inside a building. Now, why that is the case, I don't know. That's not actually present on any other map. So that doesn't teach anyone anything other than being like really paranoid for no reason. I mean, maybe it means like read the signs or whatever.
Yeah,
try to pass the Russian on the walls. I don't know, man.
I mean, there's a little, because my understanding is like, isn't there like danger or like do not go in, or like there's like a warning sign somewhere or something
like that. But there's warning signs everywhere on Tarkov. It says "Welcome to Hell" on a truck on one place, and
that's
on a wall, and like.
Though. I mean, I'll say this because initially when I heard about it, I was like, dude, this is the most toxic thing, because I just immediately assumed it was invisible or it was like no warning sign. It's like the most obscure thing, and you know, some troll dev is like, yeah, I'm gonna put a landmine on the new player map. But I mean, at least there's like something there so they could learn from that experience, you know. Now, I mean, I'm not saying it's like, I think people have a right to be, you know, annoyed at it, in my opinion. But
yeah, I mean, as other people are saying, there's also a spawn right next to other landmines as well. And I don't think there's any like
that one's
one
confusing.
Spawn. Yeah, there's no feasible way to actually like read the signage. You literally move to the left and you blow up. Like straight away. But you don't die on that one.
Sure.
Yeah, that one's problematic. That one's not that's not a claymore, thank God. But one of my favorite clips in Discord, I think there was a guy favoriteless who was putting a few clips in my Discord, and there was one where they're like looking out the window, shooting at someone, and they go, "Oh yeah, you know, I shot at somebody and spooked him," and they like runs into the building, runs along, you just hear, "Oh," as they ran into the claymore room, just like scared out of their mind after getting shot at and just getting claymored. It's like, why? Just why? But yeah, I don't know. Like, so I think is right. This is the way that I see it. I don't think this was the best beginner map to make. I think there's too much verticality. I think there's too many players. If they halved the player count, I think that would help for a start.
Yeah.
And like everybody needs to do those quests as well. And everyone needs to do them all in the same place. So it kind of like funnels everyone into the same areas. And it's just, yeah, it's like Streets level of difficulty of navigation. So I just don't think it's a very good beginner map. But I think the map itself is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
The level 20 cap, I think, is contentious. I still think that's a mistake. I think it should be 15. Because I don't think you should have flea market people running around with new players. I don't think that's a good idea. I know it's only 4 or 5 levels. I don't know whether the cutoff is 20. Like 20, you get to level 20, you can't play, or whether it's you can only not play at level 21. I'm not sure where the less than or equals to. I don't know where the exclusion precisely sits. But
right, I get you. 20 plus, I imagine.
Yeah, and the only other thing that I think about it is that the map is actually really sick and could be an amazing like PvP map for the late game. Like it would be a really, really fun map because it'd be like a sort of different kind of labs. It'd be like a sort of Streets labs, you know, with like good performance, and it'd be really, really fun. So I really would just, I don't know why they don't just have like 2 sets of servers, like 20 plus and under 20. So you have them segregated, they're separate, but it's the same map. So after level 20, you can queue in with people above level 20. I mean, that would be sensible to me.
Yeah, that would definitely be a way to do it. I mean, maybe they'll do late wipe events and they'll just unlock, like just remove the level cap, potentially.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, I agree. Yeah. I mean, fundamentally, yeah, I definitely agree that that would be a better way to do it because it is a really good map. Like, I mean, BSG always knocks out apart in terms of like level detail and like aesthetics. Always knocks out apart. Like I love the new bodies that they've added, like the USEX and I guess they're Anman now.
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah. There's even like a whole new character model for like we call him the businessman. He's like laying on the on the tents, like on the medical beds. He's got like a business suit on, like a watch, and he's got glasses. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I've seen him in a couple different places, but it's such a cool model.
That's fun.
Yeah, I think lowering the player count would be a good start. I mean, it has that classic Tarkov problem where you spawn and like the guy is across the street from you. You know,
exactly. Now,
so,
there are good things about the map for beginners. Like the extracts, they always like green paint. It says like exit this way and
I
stuff.
noticed that.
So there is that. There is the two kinds of like special exit as well. Broadly, I mean, there's not a red rebel one because obviously that doesn't make any sense. But there is a vehicle extract, so that teaches you how to use that. And there is a green flare extract. Although I do wish it gave you a bit more instruction. Like there's a scav with mirror. What's it called? Mirror Avenue or something. Mirror something.
Prospect.
Mirror Prospect. So Mirror Prospect is a green flare exit. There's a scav next to the extract that always has a green flare on him, which is good. So I've taken that extract twice. It works exactly the same as Klimov Street does on the streets, which is decent. It was a bit confusing because the street that you run down is like parallel to the map, which is weird. Like I'm usually expecting to run away from the map, not just like along a different road to the side of the map. It just feels a bit odd. But it was good that that's on there. So I basically spawned Emicom like every single time in the med tent. I don't know why. Just seemed to spawn there every single time without fail. But I mean, I enjoyed playing the map. It was fun for the first little bit. I did all the quests there and did the luxurious life one. And then, yeah, basically just like I've turned to the other stuff and not looked back. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I'll play now that I finished the quests is the issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a shame. I mean, I've heard people, like my friends were saying that other people were saying that it has terrible loot. I thought the loot was fantastic. There's like tons of those big giant crates.
Yeah.
Like, good God. And the bodies can just spawn like anything virtually. I would like to play on it more, honestly. But
yeah,
just the way Tarkov is, you just sometimes got to go to these places you don't want to go.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good as well. I'm in this like weird position. Actually, I have sort of broken out of it slightly, but I was like in this weird position where I'm in that bit where you have got like delivery from the past and like Operation Aquarius, but I don't have any of the keys. So I kind of need to go and get, piles of meds and the stuff to do the barter. So I just went and did the barter for the customs office because I went off to interchange to go and get some more squashes. So I did that one. So like I'm on that now. But yeah, I'm in this kind of like weird spot where it's like, yeah, I need gas hands and I need flash drives, the 2 keys, PMC kills from Friend for the West, some wood stuff that I want to leave until later. So it's like this weird, like, I get this, like, this is definitely weird limbo where you can't just like easily go and actually start the stuff. You have to just like find things on an RNG basis to be able to continue. So I'm sort of in that moment. Like I can do delivery from the past now, at least.
Oh, okay.
But I just tried to go and do it at night and died in the customs in that big red area, unfortunately. So yes, that's. I did actually go to Shoreline though. I mean, I know that's a little bit further down in the list, but given we're talking about maps, have you played the Shoreline rework yet?
I have not. My buddies were got to check it out. I watched like one POV, so I saw a little bit of it, but and I watched your videos, so that was cool.
Yeah, no, it is neat. It is neat. I think it's a lot better. It's like it subscribes a lot more to the BSG map design. Like Shoreline itself has been around for a long time, and the map design itself is like quite insipid. I would say it's just like quite bland.
Insipid.
It was before. Yeah. But now after the rework, it's good. Like the terrain is like much more varied. There's like ups and downs. The bit around Weather Station looks really cool. It's not just like one ramp and then the flat bit at the side. Like it's way, way, way nicer. The new little path over the river is fun, and the one at the top is like less janky. I just like the whole thing. It looks more like lived in. This is kind of my point, especially around. This is kind of the point I was making around the box scavs or like the truck scav. Is that the truck is just like abandoned outside the resort. There's like it's just in a ditch. There's no tracks. There's nothing. It's just there. It just exists.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas now, like the truck has been moved. There's like road markings, like as if people have actually been driving around, as if people have been using it. Like it looks like the map looks like lived in. So from a immersion perspective, it's just way better in my opinion. I think it's super cool. So there's a lot of good stuff on it. Some of the stuff is the same. Here extract working is huge. The fact that that actually
Yeah,
works now and gives you the
that's
flares. They like scrap the light thing. I like that. They're just like, well, we know we can make the flares work, so we'll just take the flares from old gas station on customs and the green smoke, and we'll just put that on pier because we know that we can make that work. Because it used to blink, right? Like that was the idea. It was
something
supposed to
like that.
blink on the
Yeah.
boat if it was open, and but it just never functioned. And yeah, it was crazy. So, but it's good now. I really do like it.
Yeah.
This cattle ranch thing, I've been in offline raids, but I haven't been in online yet. So I didn't really go to check out the loot over there. I did blow up on the mines in the co-op extract, which is also in the top right. And now there's vehicle extract too. And like, what's it called? The rock passage is back too. It's not
Yeah,
called
I
that
know.
anymore. It's called something else, but it's called like Climbers Ascent or something. But yeah, that's back. So now there's loads of exits on
Yeah.
Shoreline.
Which I think is like suitable for the size of that map. Like it just because you think like what's the other one that's got I mean Streets obviously has a lot of extracts, but the Lighthouse also is kind of like that in a way. Like there's a card, there's the Red Rebel, there's a couple different
Yeah.
extracts depending on where you spawn. So I think it's very suitable to have more extracts added.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, someone has reminded me in chat about this, which is that the drones, the UAVs have moved,
Oh, have they?
so they're not in the same place anymore. So if you're looking for those, I think because I did find both of them on my stream, but now I can't really remember where they are. I'm sure they'll get updated on the map, but I think both of them are on kind of the eastern side. I think the one that used to be up by the Scav Sniper, I think that one's moved quite a lot.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sure we'll find it on the map. But yeah,
This is
this thing
cool.
that you're just playing now, yeah, exactly. Like to be able to get into East Wing up there is awesome.
Yeah, there's like a fire truck outside of East Wing on the playground side that has like a little escape ladder leaning onto the railing that you can climb up. I think that's huge because the wings are sometimes very hard to like reach into because like normally you can get through like one of the entrances either through like admin or through the front side of the resort, and they're just kind of like easy to get. You can get shot from the multiple floors, windows, the main entrance as you're running in, vice versa. There's like, I guess, an outside part. You can go up the metal staircase, but it's obviously super loud and you're learning everyone. So I think there's a little bit of a secondary entrance and it's, vertical-ish, like on the second floor. Because West has the hole in the wall, which like kind of helps. Whereas like East doesn't have the hole in the wall. So I think it's a very good addition.
The one thing that I was a bit sad about was, the entrance, the window right at the very end of East Wing.
Yeah.
On the ground floor with the rubbish bags that you can't get into, that looks like you should be able to get into it when you first play, but after a while you realize you can't.
Right.
Yeah, on the video, it's literally those windows there. You still can't vault in there, even if you smash the window, and you definitely should be able to. It's probably not been done for like balance, just for like map balance, because otherwise you'd be able to get into too many places, I think. But it feels weird not to be able to get in there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that should change. I'm pretty positive there's like invisible walls on the windows there. And
because you can't get out either.
Yeah, you can't get out, right? Because that's like you're like trapped essentially. Which
Yeah,
I think
it's also
that's
weird.
done
It's like slightly too, exactly. It's like slightly too low, right? Like you can't get your PMC out even crouched.
Well, I think you could in theory if you could actually get on the ledge, but I feel like there's invisible walls blocking you. I might be wrong.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, now that you brought that up, the one thing I was also disappointed in was like dorms. The windows on like the first floors you can't jump into from outside. Like I guess you're not tall enough. Like you can get very close. Like the vaulting's kind of interesting because it's like based off your character's camera angle and also how tall the object is you're trying to climb. So like if the object's like at your right around your gun level, if you're looking too low, you won't actually be able to mantle. So you got to look slightly up a bit and then you can mantle. But the problem is with these windows on dorms is like you can like sometimes get the animation to go, but your head will touch the top. So like there's this problem where you have to like look up to climb up, but you actually need to look down to get your character model to go through. Because if you're on the inside, previously you could always jump out the windows, but you had to look down. And same applies here. When you mantle out, you gotta like look down slightly, and probably a little bit more than what you need to. So I don't know. I kind of like. I feel like that's like probably the most. When I think of like vaulting, that's like the one thing I wanted to be able to do is like vault from outside in. Because sometimes you get in the dorms, like that jump on the side. Oh my god! Like you can't vault into it. You have to do the jump puzzle still. I don't know why Tarkov jump puzzles are just like a nightmare. Like any other game, fine, but Tarkov jump puzzles are just a nightmare for me.
It's like trying to play a platformer with inertia and like slowdown and stuff, right? Like it just makes it really hard to control your character.
Yeah, it's I don't know what
it's pretty tricky.
The mechanics, like physics mechanics, are weird because you'd still get that weird sliding stuff. Now,
yeah, you do. I nearly fell off the sniper rock.
Hoping that was going away.
I was just like on woods. I was like, no. Yeah, that's actually the only place that I've had real issues with vaulting. Was trying to get up to sniper rock on woods. So, because the steps are like at an angle, you're not just going like straight onto them each time, especially at the bottom. Getting up onto the first step or two, vaulting just doesn't really work very well. I found, which is annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because there's two types of vaulting. There's like, I guess, like as they phrase it, climbing the obstacle and remaining on top of it, and then there's vaulting where you like swing your legs and hips over it, and these are like shorter obstacles. Like it actually feels really good for railings, like road railings and guardrails. Feels really good because it also doesn't eat any stamina except your arm stamina. I'm pretty sure, which is pretty cool. Nice little like switch up there. And I would imagine the same for climbing too. But yeah, the climbing one is like for more taller objects, but like waist high, almost up to your elbows, perhaps. Is a good measurement. And yeah, I mean, since we're talking about vaulting and climbing and such, I kept auto on because I'm just like, oh, dude, I just don't have enough keybinds. Like I'm seriously like I need to like spend a day and like just figure out an optimal keybind layout because it's actually really annoying. Because I got two new ones, one new one if you use the auto for vaulting, but yeah, the auto is like because one problem is the jump key is now, if you do auto, the jump key has to be on release, right?
Even with auto.
Well, I think
I have auto off. I think I actually have that turned off.
Let me pull up the game and double check.
Remember. Oh yeah, so mine's on hotkey. So if it's on auto, I feel like you don't need to use the key at all, do you?
That's
or do you still need it for climbing?
You still need it for climbing. Yeah, it only does auto vaulting, but not auto climbing. That's the caveat. So okay, this is how it works, I think. Let me just double check what space is. I always have trouble finding the jump key in here for some reason.
I know. I mean, it's really not very well ordered, is it?
Yeah. I feel like this should be up at the top. Anyways, so jump is on release and vaulting's on continuous, because if you do jumping on press, then you would jump first, and then when you land, then you would do the climbing. So it doesn't work. So you have to do release on jump, assuming they're on the same keybind, you're vaulting and jumping. The problem with that is now if you need to jump over a gap, it's on release. So there's like a weird like timing issue that you have to like remember. Otherwise you'll just fall because the jump input will be on a delay. Excuse me. So that's unfortunate, and that's annoying. The other part with the auto that's annoying I found is like sometimes like you're just moving around terrain and it like vaults when you don't really want it to, and like sometimes that's problematic. It just, I don't know. I too think hotkey is, as you said in your video, just kind of like you want to have the control over it. The problem I'm having is just too many damn control.
I know. So that's what I did. I ended up doing like control space as vault and space as jump.
Actually, yeah, I don't think I can. I don't think that would be an issue. I should do that.
Like I've kind of like started to have too many things on control at this point, and it's starting to cause me some problems. Actually, not with vaulting, but it's causing me issues with left side lean because that one I've got like I haven't decided what is best for that. It doesn't need to be on any particular key, you see, but it needs to make sense to me. Otherwise, I'm just going to struggle to use it. So I've got that on Control Q, which because it's because left lean is Q. That. Alt lean is slow lean left.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
Control Q is like swap to the left side. Like it feels natural, kind of. But then I end up with these like weird issues if I want to slow lean, but I'm already like I had some like weird. I can't remember what it was exactly. It was like I was I honestly can't remember. It was like some random combination of like I was crouched on a left lean and I wanted to slow lean as well. And it's just like too much control, too much alt. Like it's just too many modifiers. It just wasn't working properly. I was like overriding things with other stuff, and it just like didn't really work that well. So I'm not really sure yet. Yeah, I kind of want another thumb button or like a mouse button for it, but I've already got like I kind of wish that I had left right mouse wheel, but I don't have that on mine.
Left right mouse wheel.
Yeah, there's some. I think a Logitech mouse I used to have. You could click wiggle the mouse wheel left and right.
Yeah.
And there was a button that way because that would be cool because you could go like push left for like left lean switch stance, and that would feel really good. I think because at the moment I've got like change fire mode. I mean, I should probably just like put change fire mode somewhere else because change fire mode is just not that critical. It doesn't need to be here. It's because I had it on my thumb button. It's like literally like the front thumb button as well. It's like one of the most prominent thumb buttons. I've got it there because I had it there in PUBG. And I literally just tried to transpose everything to Tarkov when I moved. So I should probably move that because it's not that critical. I've got change fire mode. I've got discard. I've got hold breath. And I've got laser, laser on off also on the mouse. Those are the 4 things that I have on there. And then I've got change scope magnification with middle click. So maybe I move something off that's like not as critical.
Yeah,
like I don't change fire mode very often, so I should probably put that somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't. I'm weird. I don't like using my thumb. Like I don't like hitting Alt. I don't like hitting B. I don't like hitting V. I don't like hitting C with my thumb. Sometimes C will be thumb, but really not. So I really don't like using those if I have to, but
I don't mind. So like I've already got, C is prone for me.
Oh,
I don't. The buttons that I don't like using is X and Z. I hate using those two because they're like under my hand. I just can't. I can't use those. So I have like C for prone, but V is already like minimum walk speed for me because it's that in CS.
Okay.
And then so that switches between min speed and max speed on walking. Then B is like check chamber, check like clear jam. And then N is like night vision goggles and stuff. And then M I've got as like M is like one hit with the melee, and double M is get the melee out.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So I've got no space there to put anything else. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I need to change that. I think the left lean on Control Q. I think that's a mistake. I wasn't sure about it when I first did it because it felt too congested anyway, and it's slightly clumsy to use. I have to use like the bottom section of my pinky finger and my usual lean finger because like my hand's just not in the right place. Because
it does feel a little tight.
It's really like it's kind of clumsy and like it doesn't really work properly. I don't know. It's just like I don't like it, so I'm gonna have to think about fixing something else. It's not really working.
I use caps lock plus, like mouse 3 plus caps lock, which is like one of my side buttons. But the problem I found is like sometimes I accidentally toggle the slow walk, which is problematic because that's on caps lock. Just like the timing of the buttons.
Bizarrely, I have VoIP on caps lock now.
Yeah, your keybinds are weird.
My keybinds are really weird. It's like very organic, and my keybinds are just like super, super strange. Like I have tilde as one of my item slots, and I always put Painkiller on it because it's my like panic button because it's like right in the top left corner, so I can just feel the button and just press
that's
it.
A good idea.
Unfortunately, I kept fluffing the Painkillers when they were on like 6. I was just like missing them the whole time, so I ended up putting them on tilde.
Yeah, I wish I have a. it's not a 10 keyless, but it's like an ultra compact keyboard. So like the
Oh,
tilde key is also the escape key, but you have to hit the function button on like the right side.
oh,
So,
that's unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah. Because I like that idea. That's actually a good idea because I use 4, 5, and 6 for meds, and sometimes I forget which painkiller and which ones heal on like 5 and 6. So sometimes I'll painkiller when I meant to heal, and heal when I meant to painkiller.
That's
It's
why I
annoying.
changed it over so that now I have like tilde is like painkill,
Right.
and then
Yeah, that's a good
5
idea.
is just everything.
Yeah.
Because the way I set my mind up now, it's like press release 5 and tilde. That's it. That's all my items. Like I don't have anything else bound to anything else. I don't ever bind grenades. I don't ever have 3 sets of hotkeys bound for meds. I bind heavy bleed, light bleed, and heal to 1 key because of the press release system. So it's just like it's way easier. I find. I like it that way. Left pedal to painkiller. Racing pedals. This is the answer, Church. Racing pedals.
Yeah, I have somebody that's a pedal gamer, and I know
Press
a couple
button
people.
to left lean swap or whatever.
It's tricky, man, because like there's just a lot of keybinds, and like you want to have the useful ones, obviously, but there's like some that are like situationally useful, or like you just want to have the option. It's tough. But jumping back to the shoulder swapping, because that's kind of how we got here.
Yeah,
I'm glad it toggles the eye, quote unquote. You know, like you switch to your left eye. That's actually really great. Like I was very hopeful that would happen, and that's the case. So good job on them. And it's like actually like because of that, I think it's like actually going to be very useful, very relevant. Yeah. I guess the one thing that's kind of annoying for me is when you switch to the left shoulder and you go to sprint and you release, it like pops back up on the right side and it has to like transfer over.
Yeah.
Like move back over. I don't like that.
I guess it kind of makes sense though, because like you're not going to be able to run with it here. Like you have to like, you bring it back, you run, and then you like have to bring it back up and swap it over, I suppose. Like I don't know. I don't mind that much, but yeah, it does look a bit clumsy.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying. I guess how it functions is like it literally goes back into the right position and moves over. Like it does all the animations. Like if I sprint, like go ADS, it's like transferring as if I was doing it manually. You know what I mean? It's just kind of annoying. The other weird thing is sometimes I've had like weird issues. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but sometimes like here, like if I like touch something with it,
it just goes like back, right? It goes back to the right side, I think.
Oh, that's what's happening. Yeah, see, okay. So little things like that, it's I don't like that. Like I feel like there's an improvement there.
You're right. There should be a what's that called again? When you go too close. What's the name for that? I forget. I can't remember.
Gun hitting object?
No, there's a specific name for that.
I'm not sure.
Not like body block. God, I can't remember. Someone in chat's gonna remind me in a second. Like I genuinely can't remember the name for it anyway, but it should do that, but on the left side.
Yeah, that's how
rather than like resetting. Barrel stuffing, that's the one.
Barrel stuffing, yeah.
Yeah. So if you get barrel stuffed left, it should just like pull back into your left shoulder like this, right? It shouldn't, because at the minute it's like, anytime there's anything problem, it swaps to the right and then barrel stuffs you. It's like that doesn't really make sense. It should barrel stuff you on the left. Like the gun should come up like this way. Like it should keep your left hand stance the same if possible.
Because I'm doing it here, and like when I barrel stuff, it goes back to the right stance as like a default.
It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't like that very much. But generally speaking, I would say it's honestly pretty good. All these new mechanics they put in, I think they're all right.
Yeah. I was thinking because like typically I like having the laser on the right side because you can like, blind fire and like flashlight around the corner, so to speak. But now that it's you can shoulder swap, it's like, well, crap, I want one on the left also. Like, so I don't know, like, because you can't really swap. Like, I'm not going to sit in raid and like shoulder swap and then also open up the inventory, drag the laser over, and you know what I mean. So I don't know. It's just something interesting thought of. Maybe put the lasers on flashlights on the middle now.
Yeah,
it's like a compromise. I don't know. I don't know if
I quite like under flashlight anyway. Really, like top bottom. I always like underneath is probably my preference. I've always kind of preferred that, and then right and then left. I guess in order of priority.
Yeah, I like laser underneath, but typically flashlights on the right because of the shoulder peak, right hand and shoulder peeking. But those days are gone.
Yeah, so I saw when I was unable to get in, we actually just were watching Jesse's stream for a bit.
Yeah.
And he was showing the third party animations with somebody else in co-op offline. And it's not quite as powerful as the right shoulder peak, but it's close enough. It's close enough. So it's
Oh, you mean like
very
the
similar.
reworked blind flyer stuff?
Literally just the peak, the left shoulder, and then ADS.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you the tightest left shoulder peak that you can do, it's very similar to the right side. Like it's not quite the same.
Sure.
But it's very similar. So it's working well and it's really strong. I used a bit in dorms to kill a scav. It felt good. There was some like weird animation bug that they actually fixed already, which was that I think ADS wasn't leaning enough. And you would lean more if you free looked. And if you swap between the two, it was like the screen was like
there's
jerking.
Something wild going on.
Something really strange. But they actually fixed it straight away. They just hotfixed it and it's now okay. Again.
I'm so glad that was a bug because I was just like, oh man, puke.
Yeah. So that was good. So that was all the mechanics. Shoreline, Ground Zero. What else? There's like some stuff about Kollontai and Caban's new guards. Like I haven't fought them yet. I don't know anything about them. I think maybe we talk about this another time, like after we've actually seen a bit more about what they are. Just we know that like, there's the new boss Kollontai. He's basically around the Klimov Trading Center and he likes to use his baton to hit naughty people. And then Caban's got 2 new guards that like to dress up and do drag races, which is pretty hilarious. But other than that, I don't know yet. I haven't even seen any videos of it, so I'm not sure. We'll have to come back to that another time. There's enough to talk about. We don't need to dwell. I guess the other thing, mechanics-wise, if you want to just finish that off, is armor plates. How much have you seen about armor plates so far? How much have you used the system? Do you think it's good, bad, working well? Like, what's the kind of vibe? And I think also just before, just to frame the conversation, right?
Sure.
We have to bear in mind that there's 2 things happening at once, right? Armor is effectively being nerfed, sort of generally speaking, but ammo has also had the progression pushed out a lot.
Yeah,
so ammo's also kind of nerfed. So armor's buffed on that basis. It's like 2 competing things, and we don't really know where we lie right now.
Yeah, I think that's a very good way to frame it.
So, like, what have you used your like starter armors and stuff? Like, what armors have you been using?
So, I mean, I went bear, of course. I always go bear, and you get the 6B13, which is pretty good. I think it comes with a backplate too. I can't remember for sure. Let's see if I can. Whatever.
Can you just see it there? I think it does.
Yeah, but I can't remember if I got this off a scav or not. It's hard. Let me check.
The best thing about it now is you can look in the handbook. And,
yeah, let's do that.
The handbook, because the handbook has everything.
Okay, it does. Yeah,
identified. Then you can just see it like all here.
Well,
cool.
You say that. I was looking
not everything, but most.
Well, this is weird because I was looking for the killer rig and it's not in the handbook.
Like, yeah, so killer, there. Like boss stuff is not in the handbook.
Tagilla. Oh, okay. You have to still inspect those.
Yeah, so you have to inspect like Tagilla face shield. Like when you come upon that the first time in raid, it is unidentified.
Interesting. That's weird.
I think it's basically everything. I think everything on the traders, plus a load of other stuff, is all identified. It's just like special items, like what streamer items, keys, like boss items. Those are the ones that you need to actually identify. But everything else now is visible. But it's cool because you can see the armor plates also in the handbook. It comes under gear components.
Yes,
I saw that. There's a lot. There sure is a lot. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Like we can't. The only one that you can buy off the bat is from Prepper 1. It barters for a Grand Juice, and it is a Juk 3 front plate. So it's the one that goes in the press armor. I don't know if it's compatible with other stuff. I guess we can just right click on it and do a link search and find out. So that is compatible with the Juk press and also the 6B13.
Yeah.
The 6B13 comes with its class 4, so I don't know why you do that. But either way, yeah, it's interesting. There's like, we're going to have to see exactly how to move the stuff around. Did you see like the basic tip? So if you go USEC, you get given a trooper and a Cry AVS rig. And I think I saw OnePeg talking about this first. But I've done it myself as well. And you get 2 different types of class 4 plates between those, and they're interchangeable. So the ones that come in the trooper are polymer. like you would imagine, because the trooper itself is polymer. Those are level 3 traders and come from a barter. I don't know what it is, but it's a 50k item value or something. The ones in the AVS are combined materials plates. They're still class 4, and those are 20k from Skier 3, I think. The difference being is the combined materials plates are like 4 kilograms each, and the high density polyethylene plates are like 1 kilo. But when you take all the plates out, the AVS has groin protection at class 2 and front and back, and is lighter than the trooper. So you can take the trooper plates and put them in the AVS and end up with this like better armor, which is much lighter overall, and use that, which is really cool. So I did that for ages. I went on my like 14 win streak with that plus the MDR, and I only died in the end today with that gear set, and I got absolutely railed by like a million different bullets. So it was protected me quite well. I mean, we can talk about this in a second, but like some of the mechanics, like I don't really understand how they work yet, but some of the mechanics of these armor plates do seem to be slightly
different.
It's hard to say, right? Overtuned, maybe, is the way that I would put it, but I'm not sure. I mean, we can talk about it now if it's I guess it's relevant. So I got baited into watching a bit of Erring's stream last night when I was supposed to go to sleep because he was like, "Oh, testing some armor," and Tower has been chatting to me a little bit on Discord about testing some new stuff because he talks to the Tarkov ballistics guys, and I love their website. They're updating things and whatever, and people are like trying to figure out how this new system works. And there used to be bugs, I think, in the past with having 2 layers of armor. Like, it used to do weird stuff. Like, the underneath armor used to get hit first and then the higher level and all strange things like that. But that's been out of the game for ages now.
Yeah.
Until this patch. So anyway, I dived in, and Erring was very excited to show me a few things, actually. They, like, repeated some of the tests for me because I was in chat. I felt quite honored. But he knew I'd love it so much. But there's, like, some really crazy stuff going on, and no one really knows, like, what this means yet. Armor like the Korakulon, which is class 3, but it's inbuilt. It's got like an inbuilt protection in it. There's no plates. It's just its own thing. That acts very much like the old armor used to. It seems. Things like the trooper, yeah, that one is the Ragnar one that they added. Last wipe.
Is it a body armor or is it a?
Yeah, it's a body armor.
Okay.
Yeah. It's that weird. It's the one with the band around it. It's got like it's a 3x3 and it's like got a little band around it.
Oh yeah, these,
this guy. There you go. Yeah. So that thing, if you look at the plate, it's a steel plate, but it's inbuilt, so you can't change it or anything.
Steel. I didn't notice that. Yeah. Okay,
but it seems to act like it used to. It seems
right.
So you get shot. There's blunt damage, like stuff pens when it should, etc., etc.
Okay.
If you use something like the trooper or the AVS or anything like that with like plates and also an inbuild, something strange is happening. And we don't know whether it's a bug yet or whether it's intended or what. And this was definitely happening with steel plates. We were actually testing it with I think it was actually the 6B13. It was one of the Russian armors anyway. I think it might have been the 6B13. Anyway, so it had a class 3 steel plate inside. Maybe it wasn't that one. I can't remember which armor it is. Oh no, sorry, no. It's the other one. It's the one with the propane. Oh, what's that one called?
Oh, the 6B23.
6B23. Yeah. Okay. So it was the 6B23 that they were looking at. So that one has got a class 3 plate, right? And then it's also got a class 2 behind it. Something about these like standalone plates are crazy. So I literally witnessed Airwing shoot Tower in the chest with 7.62x39 T45 7 consecutive times with no blunt damage and no penetrations at all into a class 3, right?
What's the pin? Remind us what the pin is again. Isn't it like 30 on T45?
T45 is, I think it's 30 pen. I think so. I've got it up here. Yeah, 30 pen.
Okay.
So back in the day, T45 against class 3 was a 2-hit kill. It was like, it probably penned the first time, and then the second time it definitely did, and you died. Literally, Tower survived 7 shots.
Right.
And there wasn't even any blunt damage. Now, we had this discussion on Erring's stream about it when I was in chat. In that that is actually like realistic kind of.
Okay.
I don't know about the penetration thing, because the pen thing is a bit weird. It should have penned, honestly. But if it wasn't going to pen, then that's actually kind of realistic, because like steel, especially, like we were talking about the difference between like steel and ceramic. Like ceramic degrades more quickly because like ceramic, like it breaks as part of the process, and if you shoot like even near it, like the structural integrity is compromised. Whereas like steel, so long as you're like not penetrating,
right,
you can just shoot like as many rounds as you like, within reason, obviously. If you're shooting, there's some 9mm hollow point or whatever at a steel plate, like it's just not going to ever do anything. Like it'll last infinitely, basically. So like the argument was sort of like, well, this is like, maybe this is like realistic, kind of. And I was like, maybe, but it's also, I'm not sure if maybe this might be a balance problem. I don't really know. And like, to my point of when I actually finally died with the AVS, I got absolutely hosed. I got like pincered between two players and just I got completely ruined. Like it was astounding that I lived as long as I managed to. I had like
both mag dumped you if they're 30
I was just
round guns.
I was just getting like I was just getting completely peppered. But the AVS like front back was just like hero saving me. I'd like at one point I ran for like half of the distance from like by Giving Tree on customs. I ran from like the little gate, the gate entrance over towards Fortress. I ran from there all the way down to Giving Tree, getting shot with a black thorax and survived. And I got hit multiple times because the plates give no blunt damage whatsoever. I didn't actually take any damage to my chest.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I didn't die for it took so long for me to go down. It was crazy strong. So these plates seem insane. Like any plate that's like separate seems to be like A, incredibly durable compared to the way they used to be. B, give no blunt damage whatsoever, which is like, it's a plate with another piece of armor behind. So like, maybe, it's spreading the force out, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's kind of okay.
Sure.
But I'm not really sure about the penetration thing. Like the durability of the plate seems to have like no bearing on the penetration. Now it seems to defend it as if it's like full durability the whole time or something weird. I'm not really sure now. So I don't know. Maybe it's a bug. Maybe it's supposed to happen. Like no one really knows yet.
What was like the durability values getting down to when they were testing?
Like one of them, it saved a shot from this thing at literally 1 out of 40.
What the T45?
It was crazy, man. Honestly, yeah, I've never seen anything like it. Yeah,
that doesn't sound right. was the Under Armour taking any damage during this process? I don't know, man. I mean, it's funny you say that because I felt like I was surviving longer and us other people were tanking more. But like there was one time where like I got really messed up, but like my plate only had like a few points of damage, but I guess they hit like a gap somewhere, like at one point. But I got shot a lot. Like my arms were messed up. Like one of my arms was black. I had like 2 bleeds. Yeah, that's really interesting.
It's really weird. And like the funny thing is also, I think the armor damage on the plates themselves kind of is, it doesn't look that weird compared to the way it used to be, but we're all just using like crappy bullets. So it sort of looks like how it did. That's not necessarily too crazy, but the fact that it seems sort of independent of durability for the protection is like really weird. I mean, I'm sure there probably is something. I don't really know. Or maybe it's just not supposed to be working like that. Like it's hard to know right now. Like Aaron did a load more testing, but it was already like 1 a.m. for me, so I had to go to bed. So I'm not actually sure how much further he got with it. But he was like testing all sorts of stuff, like the head hitbox thing is still the case. So you could shoot through the side of the helmet, and it won't actually connect because you don't connect with the head hitbox. It's still like the head hitbox is the same size no matter what helmet you're wearing. So that's still the case now. That was always the case before. It's still the case now. The arms hitboxes are really thin. So they did say in the patch notes that they thinned out the arms hitboxes, so you can kind of shoot through like it's sort of like the outside of the clothing,
right?
And you don't actually hit the arm; it just hits the chest behind and stuff, which is interesting. And he was very, very pleased to show me that apparently Tower has no balls because he was shooting through the crotch area and just not connecting at all.
That's funny.
Aaron thought that was particularly funny. So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird. He was also trying to determine like where the armpit is, because that's like the bit of the thorax where you often just don't have any protection and you die. It seems primarily when you have your weapon up and you get hit from your left side into the side of the chest, that seems to be the point at which you die. So, I mean, like, generally speaking, right, the rule of thumb seems to be either run directly away from people or directly towards people or backpedal facing them or whatever. Like, just don't be side on.
Yeah, I mean, I've already seen Shutterville's been sending me screenshots of all of his, armor gap depths. Like he got a neck, or was it throat? He got necks or something.
Rotated.
Yeah. He got armpitted a few times. I've been lucky and avoided. One of my buddies died that way a couple times. There was one really weird instance where, like I had shot a scav when I wasn't supposed to, but I had monkey brain and I was like, oh, I need scav kills. And then the scav aggroed onto us, and he was like down by the bushes on customs near the construction, like that wall that you can pass through to go into construction. And we were up on top of the hill near dorms, and he went through the bushes and was shooting at us through the bushes. And I was like, oh God, run. And one just like connected on him, but it was like I think it was like T45, and he died in like 2 hits. And he was like, I mean, I don't remember the details, and I don't even know if he paid that much attention because he was obviously really upset. But he got thoraxed. That's all I remember. And he had armor. He had like, probably the 6B on. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say what that was. But anyways, that is super interesting with plates, because like one test I would be curious to see is what happens if you use something that doesn't have any protection underneath, like just plates, like this Hex Grid, for example, or the Trooper. Actually, the Trooper has underneath protection. There's a couple of vests that are like just plates. Interesting. The I'm gonna be all over the place jumping around, but the USEC and Bear rigs, the USEC one is just plates. Whereas the Bear is plates, and I think it's class 2 Aramid. Yeah, class 2 Aramid chest and back. Which is interesting. And I can't remember which one has the better rig configuration for loadout, but I don't know. Just some weird shenanigans.
That is interesting. Yeah, it's one of the weird things. So like now we have these like random hitboxes that we've not seen before. They don't show you where they are anywhere because they're still part of the same HP pools, right?
Yeah.
The one that's slightly confusing is face to me. So now the head seems to have top, nape, ears, eyes, face, jaws, throat, and neck.
Yeah. I think that's all of them.
Now, if you look at something like the fast multi-hit ballistic face shield, right? That has face, eyes, jaws protection. If you look at something like the Ronin, I mean, no one really uses it, so maybe they didn't test this.
Right.
That is top, nape, eyes, jaws, ears, but no face.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
So I don't know whether that's just like missing. Like you can just die if they hit you in the face area. Maybe that's, well, no, I was gonna say, but that's eyes, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I want to see, what about Shattered Mask? Shattered Mask has got face, head, top, eyes, and jaws. Yeah, it seems like face is missing from the Ronin,
I think you're right. I saw something else that was along the similar lines that I thought was a bit of a oversight or something. Can't remember what it was, but I remember now. It's just another random tangent. I'm sorry. The where's it at? Where's the slicks at? Wait, oh, here they are. For some reason the brown and the green have the same stats, but the red just has like an extra 5 move speed penalty and an extra 1 turn speed penalty. But
the tan one,
the tan one is just de facto.
Wait, why?
Deemed the worst. It's got to be just someone typed in the wrong numbers or something. I don't know. The plates are the exact same. It's just don't use the tan one.
Yeah, because the plates are 3 and 1.5. Yeah, so the tan slick has got 5%. And 1% on it. I'm intrigued to see if that was what it used to be.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing to check.
Yeah, 5%, 1%. So that's just they just didn't delete the values from the slick. That's got the old values on it, and then it's also got the plate values.
Yeah, that checks out.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
On that note, there is like an interesting aspect. I don't think it's actually going to happen, but in theory, you could remove the plates, and it will get rid, like on this screen. Oh, I have no stash space. But on this screen, it will, as you drag it, it will actually show you the debuffs that you're removing / gaining. So
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm pretty impressed. Like or pleased also is that they added that.
That's cool.
Yeah, but like in theory, if you wanted to, you could run a plateless vest and just have the aramid there. Which I mean, like,
yeah,
I don't know if I don't know how valuable move speed really is as a commodity or like a stat in Tarkov. I mean, it's definitely matters at a certain point, but you also have like weight that compounds on it in a weird way, which is breakpointy. This is like added like linear effectively. So I don't know. There's like a little like weird stuff going on there. Like there might be some. I mean, I'm gonna jump to another random tidbit that I saw. The one rig that looks very good is one of the Ospreys. I can't remember which one it was. Why can't I ever find? Okay, here we go. So
probably
this
the Osprey
one,
class 5, isn't it?
Yeah,
protection.
Yeah. The Mark 4A plate carrier. They're like the exact same, and I don't even know. Oh, protection versus assault. I see. So yeah, you're right. The protection's got the 5 class 5 plates, and then it's got the side armor class 5 plates integrated with it. I assume this is how it would be when you buy it. But all the aramid parts, the chest, back, left side, right side, neck, right shoulder, left shoulder is all class 3 aramid, which seems pretty good. I mean, you don't have stomach protection. I don't believe so.
You not explicitly, but
it
the
says stomach on the armored areas. That's weird.
It's because it covers the stomach hitbox partially.
Yeah, this is one thing that like I kind of wish there was something, some UI element, some screen, some I don't know, but just something where I could like get my Da Vinci layout of my character and it would just highlight the areas that my armor is like covering. It's like 3D or something, because it's kind of annoying to like try to decipher how much surface area this stuff's covering.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
I mean? Like,
I mean, I'm like looking at this and thinking also about the side plates. It's like, is there even any point? Because the side plates literally just cover the stomach, I think. To be honest, because the thorax bit is the bit under the arms. I think Ewing put up some pictures as well of like where the actual chest is, the thorax hitbox is actually quite high.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like just at the rib cage kind of thing. So the side plates are like, class 5 on the side. Like, who cares though? Because you're just protecting stomach. Like, it doesn't. Like, it's better obviously not to get shot in the stomach, but I don't know. It's of limited value.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns, and then there's just like I feel like there's some gaps that like knowledge gaps. Like I feel like I don't have all the pieces of information or like enough pieces to make good like informed decisions.
Yeah.
And like another interesting one that I just want to point out again is the back to the 6Bs, the 6B13s, they have groin protection, and you can see like there's a little lip on the armor. And if you go down to the digital flora, there's like a rear lip, and you have like groin rear. It's like a separate one as well. And the same's true for the mountain flora one, the 6B23. It also has like a rear lip.
Wait, where does it say that?
Not the 6B. So it's the final, the 7th. I think it's 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever. It's the final one.
Oh, 6B23
Yeah, 6B23 2. Yeah.
Oh,
same for the 6B23 1 as well. Yeah, it has like a little lip, so you get that extra bit.
It's interesting because it says like groin rear in the armor points, but then it says buttocks in the armor area.
Oh, that's it.
Buttocks.
That's funny. Well, does this one say buttocks? No, it doesn't. Huh. Okay. So like, yeah, I mean, I guess that one's okay because it actually has like it has a separate armor piece for it. There wouldn't be confusion. I don't know. I just like to make good decisions. Feel like I'm making informed decisions at least. But
yeah, it's kind of hard to know like what goes in what now. Like what I'm enjoying is going through each one and then going like right click link search on the plates to see like what it goes in.
Yeah, I was doing.
You
that
can
earlier
put like
too.
the granite level 6 plates from the Brallo. You can get those in the Thor, the Redoute, the Osprey Mark 4A, Thor Concealable, the Fort Redoute, the Defender, Anti-Tactical M2, blah blah blah, Interceptor OTV. It's like quite interesting. You can put them in the press in theory. You could have you can have like because the press is quite a easy plate shape, I think. So you can have like class 6 press vest.
Yeah.
Which is quite fun. But what's also really weird for me is that also when you look through the handbook, when you actually look, it's more so when you look on the flea, you can see that all of the armors like come with like default plates anyway. So the swapping system, I'm not sure how much value there is in the swapping system. Like there is some, obviously. Like maybe it's more so like you kill a guy in raid, but the part you're just gonna like. Okay, let me put it this way: I don't know why there aren't more empty carriers. I think that the traders should sell more empty carriers because at the moment you don't really have the option. Like there are some plates you can buy, but not that many, and there's quite a few of them that just don't seem like right now. Like how are you going to get an empty? I guess it's like trying to repair one that you've already got. I suppose maybe people are going to take the plates rather than taking the armor.
That's what I did last night. I took the plates.
But you should be able to buy some like just carriers on their own without anything in. Because if I look on the flea, like I mean, I can't see them properly, but they've all got armor points on them. So that it's like all the ones that I've seen all have plates in already, which is a bit weird. You good?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so they've all got like plates in already. And it seems strange to me that there aren't really, I don't think there are any that are just like empty to let you put your own plates in. Like you have to buy them with the plates first. And then after that, you can swap the plates around. But it's like you kind of want to have some option to not have anything in there if you do want to customize. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. No, I feel like it would be kind of more interesting to have, it's like you buy your foundation, so to speak, and you sort of build on top of that. Then you decide what plates I want to. You buy the base and then you pick the plates. Like I think that's a good suggestion. I think they should consider that because it is kind of like I could kind of see a world. Sorry, Mike Bump, where you buy two different, vests. Like you buy maybe one particular vest because you want the foundation, and then you buy a different vest because you just want to rip the plates out, like the hex grid or something. Like, because that's the other thing is like I don't think I could ever. I don't feel like I'm ever gonna run like hex grid. Like it has no air. It's just It's just two plates and some Velcro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I don't know, man. It seems super sketch.
Exactly. But that's the thing. The value of the hex grid is that it comes with the two class 6 plates, which you then probably want to put into something else. Like you never want to run the hex grid on its own. It's literally a plate carrier. It carries the plates in it until you get it out of raid, and then you just throw it in the bin, and you take the 6 plates out and put them in something else. Like the way that I can see it, I mean, the resulting meta that I'm thinking of right this moment is you take exactly that. You take like the cheapest possible thing, which is maybe the barter for the press armor. Like maybe it's a press armor meta. The press armor itself will be. It takes a front, back, left, and right plate. It seems to be compatible with the class 6 plates. So you just buy that because it comes with the class 3, but it's really cheap because it only costs 1 horse and 1 pom-pom hat. You just buy those 2 things off the flea, get like a really cheap carrier.
Yeah, that's honestly not bad.
It only has class 2 on the Aramid, but failing buying something more expensive, it's like one of the only ways you can get like left plate, right plate, front and back without paying 150k first for like all class 4 plates that you might not even want.
And it has neck. I like neck protection personally.
Yeah, has a bit of neck on it. Love a bit of neck. Does it actually have so movement speed -4.5? Oh, it does actually have some penalties on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if those are the same. Oh, we're gonna have to go through and see. But do the Juk level 6 plates work in the press? I'm not sure. What's that? What is that called? Is that granite?
There's a lot of compatibility for those.
Yeah, the press like is compatible with pretty much everything. The problem with the system right now is because I'm not able to buy these things and I don't have the
Right.
trader levels. I then can't see what the plate is.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Like I can see what the plate is if I find it in the handbook, in the Juk,
right.
or in the Zabralo or whatever, and then I can link search it, but then it won't show me. I then can't look at the armor because the armor's grayed out because I can't buy it yet. So it's like kind of tantalizing.
Yeah. You're gonna need like a pen and paper or a bunch of screenshots.
Yeah, you have to go through and exactly, another spreadsheet. Like the granite BR4 ballistic plate. I wish it just said what level it was.
Yeah, some of
on
them
the
do,
plate.
but some of them don't.
Yeah, just like in the icon though. Like they've got this like little, Roman numerals thing. Why does it just not have the Roman numerals in the bottom left-hand corner rather than just having like a green icon, which doesn't tell me anything?
Yeah.
Sorry, purple icon. Doesn't tell me anything. It's
I hope I get you.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, armor hitboxes. So yeah, I think like the long and the short of it seems to be now don't stand side on. And the second thing is from the basic testing that's been done at the moment, obviously, who knows, right? We're still testing tons of things. I haven't done so much yet, but Ebbinghaus and a bunch of other people have. It seems to be that if you get shot in the plates work a lot better than armor used to. If you don't get shot in the plate, obviously you're probably going to die. So it's like,
yeah,
plates work better than you would expect. They're not just like the old armor, but smaller. It's like plates seem to work a lot better than they did before. So sometimes you're like really tanky. Someone was just saying in chat, did they say they were restricting plates on the fleet, not the rigs? Yes, they said. I think most of the. This is the thing. I think most of the armors are now going to be sold on the fleet. I think even things like the Corund carrier, and like slicks, hex grids, all that kind of stuff. I think you might be able to sell the actual carrier plates. Maybe the fleet's going to fix this because you won't be able to put class 5 and 6 plates on the fleet. And the same way as weapons, you won't be able to put like non-fighting raid stuff or banned items on the flea market if they're part of the rig.
Mm-hmm.
So you may be able to buy an empty hex grid, an empty press vest, an empty whatever on the flea.
Yeah.
Which fixes the issue of it not being on the traders. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, that seems like a very likely possible outcome.
Not actually at the flea yet, so I can't tell. We need another 5 levels, but yeah, maybe it's okay actually with the flea market. It's a good point. It's a good point. So,
I just like one final thing I want to mention. Like, if this remains to be the case, which you kind of alluded to, that plates are just like you're getting hit the plate, you're invulnerable effectively. I don't know. I don't really like that. I guess either way you slice it, it's not. There is no favorable outcome, but I don't know, man. It's a weird. We'll have to see. I'll also leave it with that. With the see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, it's still. You can still pen them with higher pen rounds. So.
Yeah, but the pen is different now. Like our previous understanding is now effectively.
We think so, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I need like is this I need this to be cleared up because if the implications is like this is intended behavior and it's like oh so now it's like MP9 ends are like gonna be so rampant because you just like you want to effectively either shoot them in the face, which then if that that could be resolved by face shields. Yeah, there's a new like that helmet you get for the Christmas gift. There's like a attachment for it that covers like throat, jaws, and something.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think it's called
I haven't used that helmet yet, so it should still be here.
Oh, what's it called? I saw it in the handbook.
The Neo Steel, high cut, Diamond Age.
Yeah.
What piece do you get with it?
Come on, where's it at?
It only had like.
Oh, here we go. Diamond Age Neo Steel helmet, ballistic mandible. It's got this like shark.
I wonder where that gets attached because I can't see it in the link search.
Yeah, I had that same issue. I don't know. Could be bugged. There was something else that wasn't coming up in link search for me. kind of annoying. But
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so okay, I guess like the final sort of round out of it, it seems to be that there's like 3 sort of choices now with like what you use to defeat this stuff. It's either you go for the high pen as you always did to be able to defeat the armor plates that people are wearing and you just shoot them center mass. Okay, job done. The second one seems to be you go with something that hits the prevailing soft armor class instead and go for high RPM. So you either try to target 20 pen, so you vector with PST, or you go for 30 pen if once people are using like lots of class 5 style armors. So you want something like, I don't know, what's 30 pen? Yeah,
APC
AP
6.3. Yeah.
Yeah. And you go for like high, as you said, MP9N or Vector or whatever, right? Because then you get like lots of chances to hit them in the armpit, the hitbox, throat hitbox, like just all the unarmored bits. And then you go for like full damage. You just go for shotguns like buckshot, whatever, and just hope that you can smash through the side of the armor or that kind of thing. Those seem to be the 3 regimes. I think it's like full flesh, high RPM
Hybrid.
through the soft armor hybrid, yeah, and then just like regular like high pen. I don't know which is going to be better yet. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Depends on how big these hitboxes are from the front, like what ends up becoming meta in terms of the armor usage and stuff. Like it really depends on what people use and like what you can even buy. So
just what I'm not grasping, Giga, is like you say high pin, but the 1 out of 50 just tanked a freaking T45.
It did, yeah.
That shouldn't be. That doesn't sound right.
No, I know, but I don't think it'll stop like M62, for example, or like M85501 or whatever. So like if you do have access to those things, then like like new BP. We haven't talked about ammo really, but like new BP has got 45 pen, so that will go through.
Actually, true. Yeah, we should. You know what? But one of my buddies did eat BP. He did die. Oh no, he was naked though. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because what I'm worried is like not like you shoot someone with a 6.1 and the plate just like eats it. There's like no damage. It's just like it eats it. Like maybe it takes damage off the actual plate, but no blood, no pin, no nothing.
I don't know. We're gonna have to see like where the new thresholds are and like how it works and stuff. Like
that's what I'm wondering. Do they change the thresholds and such?
I've got like lots of people who are like fiddling around with stuff. People doing in-raid testing. Some people like doing backgroundy stuff and like building models, whatever. There's the guy from Tarkov Gunsmith, the website. I've used before and shown a bit before. Like he's obviously all over this and like looking at it. The guys on Tarkov Ballistics are looking at it. Like this is their bread and butter. So, they've got like coding skills to actually try and do this stuff and like look for the patterns and see how to make it work, and then actually show us without me having to do something in Excel, like in a bodge way.
Numbers, Mason.
Exactly, the numbers. So yeah, that's that. Which is it's interesting. It's certainly interesting. What next? So the one other thing, I suppose. I mean, yeah, we could talk about. Have you used the ammo loading preset yet? Thing.
I looked at it. I think I used it once actually because the early wipe.
It's kind of cool
because I had like BP and PS. Yeah, I mean it actually reminds me very similar to Lost Lights in a way. I don't think it's like quite 1-to-1, but it's kind of in that same vein, and it seems pretty useful at a certain point. Just quite not there right now. Plus the muscle memory.
Yeah. I wasn't quite sure like why they did it this way until I looked into it a little bit, because it's got it's got this top loop and bottom section thing. But I realized it was like, because you could be loading like a 10 rounder, 20 rounder, 30 rounder, 40 rounder, 60 rounder, 100 rounder for 5.56, for example. So you don't have to make a preset for every single one. Like that's one of the bad things about the actual preset builder in the game for your your loadout, is that you can't like specify like wildcards like any class 5, cheapest class 3, like it's stuff like that. This obviously is very different, but it's more generalistic, which is cool. So yeah, when I was playing around with it, it's like it loads the bottom rounds first in the quantity that you suggest. It then tries to do the loop as many times as it can from bottom to top. And then when
from bottom to top, okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And then when current rounds loaded equals total magazine size minus the number specified in the top section, it then loads those rounds into the top. So if your space remaining, magazine size minus top minus bottom, if that number is not evenly divisible by the number of bullets specified in the loop section, the loop won't complete at least once at the top, basically.
Okay.
So if you have a 5-round mag and you load 2 rounds in the bottom, and then you specify 3 rounds in the loop and 1 round at the top,
right.
It'll only be able to do. It'll do 2 at the bottom. It'll load the first 2 from the loop from bottom to top, and then it'll load the top round.
Oh, okay. I guess
so the top bullet in the loop will get missed off. So loop is like the lowest priority.
Okay.
Which is like if you're expecting something to be second in the bullet order, it might not be. Depending on exactly the sort of the size of the mag and like what you parameterize it as. I don't think this will matter most of the time. I was just interested, like if you set the bottom bit to be 30, it doesn't matter what you put anywhere else because it just loads the bottom section with 30. So the bottom bit has priority, then the top bit, and then the middle bit. But it's definitely gonna be useful for some stuff. Like, to be honest, like weirdly, this would have been more useful in the past because you could have loaded like rip and I don't know. What's the next one down in 45? Laser match? No. Hydroshock.
FMJ.
You could have loaded like rip and hydroshock alternatively, and that would have been okay because rip was kind of an overkill on 0.45 before for legs. But now it's not. Now you need as much damage as you can get because of the 30% damage reduction on the spillover from legs. So now you just want to load it all with one thing. So it would have actually been more useful in the past, probably less so now. But yeah, you could do stuff like, you could do fun things like 3 rounds of 7M40 at the top, like loop is just BS, and then the bottom is 3 rounds of BT so that you can see that you're running out because you get 3 traces at the end. That's like the Metal Gear Solid approach. Which is kind of fun. So you could do stuff like that. I know some people like to do those things. I guess you could alternate US and BS so that you'd like minimize the recoil. I don't know. There's like lots of random things that you could do, but like no one's actually going to do most of this stuff. And they've nerfed all of the subsonic rounds. So like most of the use cases for this just aren't there anymore, which is sad because we could have done with this like 3 years ago, back when you could do all these interesting things. Like 7M40 is really the only thing I can think of that's kind of makes sense to do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, there might be something niche for like durability burn or jams or something, but overall, I just think it's going to be top and bottom, right?
Probably, yeah.
Just going to put the...
Oh, well, maybe probably like top and loop, I think. Because if you do bottom, you have to specify how many you want.
Yeah, but wouldn't you always just do like 20, 15 or 20? Like, I don't know, half and half?
No, but this way, if you do like, if you put, say, let's say you put like 1055A1 in the top, and then you put 156A1 in the loop, no matter how big the mag is, 20, 30, 40, 60, you'll always get as much 56A1 as you can, and then when there's 10 rounds left, it'll load 55A1. If you load them into the bottom section, you have to explicitly specify how many 56A1 you want in there.
So you're saying like this, if I just do this, it will automatically fill up.
It should do.
It'll put 10 at the top, and then everything down below will be 56A1.
Should be.
Okay, I guess that makes sense because it's going to continually loop the 1, essentially.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happens. So if you put like 10 56A1 in bottom and 10 55A1 in top and nothing in the loop, does it just load 20 bullets? Probably.
So let's see. If we do...
you probably try it quickly.
5...
I mean, even easier than that. You can just like, create some preset, put 1 PS in the top and 1... I don't know. What else have I got lying around?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I might... Actually, I got some tea. I know I got some tea.
Just see if it does it. I'm intrigued.
I think it did it.
Did it just do like 20?
It put 1 PS at the top and then 29 T at the bottom.
Must have ammo in loop. Okay, so you have to have the ammo in the loop. There needs to be something in the middle.
Oh, you do have to have... Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
I tried to load a mag with 1 FMJ at the top and 1 SP at the bottom, and it's just like, nah, man, you now have to have something in the middle. Like,
that's kind of weird. What if you did...
It won't semi-fill a mag.
Oh, I see. You can't... Because you can like toggle where you want, like how many loops you want. Like
you can,
different loops, but you can't absolutely remove it.
You can't get rid of it completely. It's a loop is required.
Okay. So yeah, you would just do, however many at the top, and then the rest with whatever.
And then something in whatever, and then it'll just fill the rest with the other one. It's kind of good.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. I don't,
And you can open it up and you can click multiple mags and then press like load all three. That's kind of
yeah,
fun too.
that's. I mean, it helps with the efficiency of like you kitting up and having
Yeah.
those, splitting your mags, which I think a fair number of people do. So it's cool.
It's better than the presets as well. Like the preset method for doing it, it's better than that, which I think is very positive.
Mhm.
Because you could do it with the presets before. There like were ways to do it, but it was a bit janky. Whereas this actually does work nicely and seems very, very cool. So yeah. Okay, so what else was there to talk about? What have we missed off so far? I guess you probably haven't used any of the new guns. Maybe the SKS. Not new,
I
but
shot the Christmas gift gun a little bit in the shooting range.
the VSK.
Yes. It seems okay. I mean, I was like tempted to bring it out, but I was like, I'm not really comfortable bringing it out because it feels a little. I don't know if it feels good, but it's just a little different. It's different, right? It's weird because like
quite jumpy to me.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird doing recoil now because it's like I'm not used to it being low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I have Tarkov brain where it trained me to just like aim,
just
sit under the mass and like pull down, right? But now that's like actually pretty bad, especially when we're talking about this armor plate discussion. Like you really want to go for headshots, like a lot. I feel like so I don't know, it's tricky. And then Tarkov's kind of like tricky with like the movement and the gun sway and stuff. So I feel like a little like uncomfortable right now, but that's probably because I haven't played in some time. I do want to talk about
recoil. Good time to
recoil.
come back in though, isn't it? Good time to like jump back in.
Yeah,
when it's like all changing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of new mechanics, so I'm intrigued. I do want to talk about recoil, but I guess we should circle back to it. I got some stuff to say about it, but there's the Lightkeeper services, the Sacred Amulet. You can get that to cultists on all locations won't attack you unless provoked. I guess it's like I don't know how that's gonna work. Is it just like you buy it once and it's permanent? Is it consumable? Like I have no idea how it works. That's gonna be interesting.
No clue. Same with the other two, right? The goons hire and the Zerachi hire.
I guess it's
how's that even function? Like, how do you even buy that from him? Like the amulet sort of makes sense because you like will go to him and buy it. But like, how do you order the services of Zerachi or the goons from Lightkeeper when he's on Lighthouse? Like, how do you even order those? Do you know?
I mean, I guess for those, what I'm assuming is they happen it says in that raid. So for the rogue support and Zerachi support, in that raid, Zerachi will support you. In that raid, rogues will not attack the player who ordered the service.
Is that like just Lighthouse then?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Whereas the amulet, he gives the character a sacred amulet. While the character is wearing the amulet, all cultists in all locations do not attack you unless provoked. So I guess maybe that's like I don't even know what slot that would go into. Maybe
it's
armband.
Either like maybe a special slot or it's
that's
like,
what I was thinking.
Yeah, or it's some other weird one. Like it'd be kind of interesting if it dropped on death.
That's what I was thinking. Like that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like you kill the guy and it's like nighttime, and then you go and put his amulet on. Now you're just like friendly with the cultists. Like that's kind of cool. It's a pretty big reward.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know how that's going to work. I guess the other mechanic that's sort of similar to that is this BTR. Like I've heard people talking about the BTR, but like I've not played Streets yet, so I'm not sure. People have been like chased through Streets like by the BTR taxi, which is pretty funny. I've seen like some of the animations that you're getting in, and then you have to select a thing, but it like boots you out if you don't have the money. And yeah, I think it's been freaking people out driving around Streets. Quite cool. I don't know if it's there every raid. Like, is it there every single time? I actually don't know.
I'm not sure. Not sure.
But it seems quite cool though.
Yeah, I saw a clip from Pastilli. I don't have it on hand, otherwise I'd pull it up. But it's actually pretty clever how they did it because you hop in it and there's an animation and your character like the hatch opens, you crawl in from like the side and then the hatch closes, and because you're like encapsulated in this vehicle, armored vehicle, I'm assuming like you're just invulnerable.
I guess so.
And because you're in that space, there's like the Lightkeeper-esque dialogue, UI pops up, which works, in that situation because I've always like, they talked about in-raid traders and I just, I just like, how do they even do that? Like you go there, you talk to them in the, UI and then it's like, oh, I need to do combat. Someone's right here. Like, I don't, it's just like, can you kill? Like, it's just so many questions, right? But this is like, it's like in the raid, you do the thing. It like removes you from the game, quote unquote, temporarily. And then you can like interact with it and then boom, you're back in the gameplay. Like, I think it's a good way of doing things. And then you can there's like a little stash you can like mess with, which is effectively the service where you can send items back with the found in raid status at a cost, and the cost is like ridiculously low. Like it's probably like 25% of the trader value. Like it's very low.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty insane actually.
Huh.
Cool new mechanic. That's gonna be fun to mess with, I think.
Apparently, it takes an hour to arrive.
What the?
So if you send items back to
okay.
stash, so I saw Rengar's one who was just like, "Hey, I sent some cool stuff back to the stash," and he was just like, "That gas analyzer in Solera was never seen again." And then an hour later, he was just like, "Oh no, it's here actually. It did finally turn up." But I looked on the wiki and it does say you can send it stuff back to your stash. It'll arrive after 1 hour in the mail.
Okay.
Which is quite fun. I'm just jumping back quickly because somebody posted in chat, which is actually true. If you go into the handbook, you can look at the Sacred Amulet and it has the tag in the top left, special equipment, the same way a marker does. So it will go in your special slot. Whether it's one use only, I don't know. Like maybe it will disappear or has durability or something. But yeah, it says special equipment. So it should go in that slot at the top. Which is good.
Okay. There were some quest changes, some reordering from for the West Part 2, then setup, then Informant Means Armed, then Chumming, then Bullshit, then Silent Caliber. Changes to Punisher Part 2 and 4, Tarkov Shooter 4. I haven't really looked at any of this.
Yeah, so what do you think about setup? Some people seem to like it, some people don't seem to like it. Like, I think it's good because
it's a lot
setup is
earlier.
annoying because, because everybody's like running class 5 by the time that you get to setup normally.
Right.
And it's just impossible to kill anyone. Whereas having setup early, you can actually use shotguns properly. Like, and it makes, I think it makes more sense doing it this way.
Yeah.
The other quests, sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the other way just kind of felt toxic to me because it was like a game of find the new players and bully them.
Yeah, and it's customs too.
Right.
So like the other one, Silent Caliber, you can do that wherever. So that's kind of up to you, right? You can go on factory. That's normally where I do it and just like go around and blast people. But yeah, that setup in particular, like you have to wear the crappy gear and then kill people out on customs. And it's like, Chad PvP hotspot by the time you get to that stage. It's just really annoying. And then it was like right next to Silent Caliber. So you had to use shotguns for ages.
Yeah.
This way it breaks it up a bit. I think it's more interesting. So the other two, where was it? So Punisher, where is it in here? So, so change the quest objectives, Punisher 2 and Punisher 4. I haven't actually seen yet. I wonder if the wiki's updated. But I was musing because both of those ones are... Oh, interesting. I think the wiki has updated this actually. So Punisher Part 1 is obviously the same. 15 scavs using an AKM series weapon on Shoreline. Punisher Part 2 was eliminate 12 scavs using a suppressed weapon on Shoreline, right? Now it's using a suppressed weapon on Reserve.
Huh.
So Punisher Part 2 is on Reserve now. So you don't have to go to Shoreline.
That's actually... Yeah, I like that better because I guess Punisher Part 2 previously was like the first Shoreline quest you had, if I'm not mistaken. Typically.
Well, you had to do it for Punisher 1, didn't you? AKM on Shoreline.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
So it was like AKM on Shoreline, and then you finish that. It's just like suppressed on Shoreline. And it's like, oh my god, really? The same again, but on scavs as well.
Okay.
And then Punisher 3 is the same as before, so that's 25 scavs with 74U on customs.
Oh god.
And then Punisher Part 4 is eliminate 10 scavs using a 12 gauge shotgun on Lighthouse. That used to be Woods.
Yeah.
And eliminate 10 PMC operatives whilst wearing a balaclava and a scav vest, also on Lighthouse. So you can now do those quests together.
What quests
Technically,
together?
you could do it with the shotgun. Well, before Punisher Part 4 was Woods for the shotgun kills. and it was Shoreline for the PMC kills.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
you're right. I remember
whereas
that. Yeah.
now it's Lighthouse for both.
Yeah.
You probably don't want to kill PMCs with a 12 gauge shotgun. Maybe you do. But you can at least do both. It's both on the same map. So it's now Lighthouse.
I hate Lighthouse so much.
At least it's different to Shoreline.
But it's the worst possible combination, Lighthouse and the shotgun, Giga. It's
Yeah,
the
Lighthouse
worst possible combination.
It is annoying, but that's just because Lighthouse is a bit. That's eminently doable. Would you rather do that on Shoreline though?
Yes.
Maybe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hate Lighthouse with a passion.
Yeah, you just don't like the map, so
I just don't like the map, no.
So then Tarkov Shooter Part 4. So Tarkov Shooter hasn't really changed, right? It's like, I think it's, what was it? Headshot? Oh no, yes, it's iron sight kills, headshots and leg shots, which is the same. Part 3 is eliminate PMCs from under 25 meters, so the factory one. But then part 4 was like get your sniper skill to level 4, right? No, level 3. Get sniper skill to level 3, which was just really annoying. And everyone just reloaded the most and it sucked. This quest is now eliminate PMC operatives from over 80 meters with a bolty. Not headshots, you just have to kill them. So you need to get, it doesn't actually say how many. This says eliminate PMC operatives. I don't actually know how many.
Yeah, I like that. That's
Who
cool.
posted about that? Somebody posted. I'm sure I saw a screenshot.
I think it's 5, but I might be wrong.
Oh, it was on Rengar. Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought. God, that page took forever to load. That was weird.
But that's better, no?
I think so, personally.
Like, use the gun and kill the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's, to me, that's an improvement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not use the gun and get some arbitrary skill points in this thing that credits you better for reloading than it does for actually hitting people.
Yeah, they should just remove all of those.
Yeah, so that's better. Yeah, there's one random thing from the hideout, just like on that topic, that I'm not sure if it has changed or not, because I can't remember when Vitality 3 used to kick in. I think maybe it is for Medstation 3. We had this chat.
They've changed that?
Well, I don't know if they have. I think it's the same.
I hope to God they did.
Medstation level 2, you need health 2. But I haven't seen yet whether they've changed that one, because that's the only other one that I know. Like, that is particularly annoying for me, like specifically.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
But I don't know if they've changed it yet. Who knows if the wiki's even up to date for the hideout stuff?
Yeah, it's super early in the game, so I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, like Med 3 is like quite late. It still says Vitality 3 on the wiki, but I don't know whether it's changed. I don't know.
One can hope.
So yeah, I think that's all right. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to play Lighthouse for Punisher Part 4 and get both scav kills and PMC kills. Lighthouse kind of feels like a better map though for Scav Vest. It's like a sniping map, so
yeah, it's a sniping map. Oh yeah, bring a shotgun, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I really dislike that map. It runs poorly. There's like a million angles. All the quests suck. You have to go deal with the broken AI. Like, it's just like the worst Tarkov experience. I think if I could like encapsulate into a map, that would be it for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily my favorite map. Oh yeah, it's got mines as well. Like, I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say it's necessarily my like favorite map of all time, but avoiding the road camp, the map's playable.
Yeah,
I quite enjoy the chalet fights. Like I've come to enjoy
that
them
there is okay.
So you can choose. I mean, the quest doesn't require you to go to the road camp, so I feel like maybe it'd be all right. And the thing is, usually, even though sometimes it sucks a bit, anytime I go to the road camp and I try to like, get PMC kills or whatever, like 50% of the time nobody shows up, and I just make like absolute bank playing Lighthouse. It's like, it happens every time. I go there and I'm just like, oh, well, this rate, there's nobody here. Thanks for the VPX, the Cyclone, and I just like hoover up tons of rare loot and leave. And then the next one I go in and just get like ravaged by like 5 PMCs. It's like very binary. It's very binary, I find. Anyway, that's it'll be different. It's different. Good to change things up.
I guess just like some final things. Painkillers are now, the edges aren't blurred. They're now just like completely desaturated.
I think it looks really
like
cool.
Black and white. It looks. I mean, I don't know if cool is the word I use.
I like it. I actually think it's really, really cool. I'm like, it looks like so sort of like arty. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think for me the weird part is like the change from color to black and white is like very small and it's great. Yeah, it's like, so it looks like a very distinct circle. You know what I mean? And it's just like this weird black and white. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's definitely better than the blurred RGB chromatic aberration, whatever was going on before. Like it was just, that was awful.
It was better than the blur. It was better than sharpness. Like you lose color information on the side. I think maybe you're right. Like maybe it could be more graduated at the edges and not be quite so harshly defined, the circle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the part that's just weird for me.
But I don't think it looks bad. And like you lose color info, but you can still see movement, so it doesn't hurt your peripheral vision. It doesn't really prevent people from pre-medding. Like if you forget to, it could be annoying actually because there is a blur effect, but it's only when the painkiller runs out.
Yeah, that I don't get at all, because that's like, that's the event that triggers to let you know that you're in pain to pop painkillers, and then now it's like when painkillers are over, now you get a blur effect for how long does it last? Is it like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, if you
I haven't
if you
used
catch it
painkillers
early
yet.
enough, neither have I. But if you catch it early enough, you can prevent it from happening.
Sure.
By painkilling again, or putting a different, because you can get like painkiller 2, painkiller 3 if you use a different painkiller. I think it only refreshes the duration if you use the same. But yeah, even if you overlap the painkiller, it when the first one runs out, it doesn't give you the blur.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a weird. I don't know why there's the blur there. It's just kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it does exactly.
Because like, I mean, now it's like you're heavily incentivized to, once you painkill, you're like heavily incentivized to continue painkilling, I suppose.
Yes.
Unless you really dislike the color loss information. I don't know.
And how are you going to see Untar Man hiding in the bush?
Yeah. It's fine. I was like, I mean, I pretty much am still, but I was like de facto Blueberry Man. I like the UN helmet, the UN armor, the idea rig, the duffel bag. And I was like hiding in the
blue
bush.
armband
like,
just for solidarity.
Yeah. I was like, this bush is not doing me any good right now. What is that blue bush? Is that a rare species?
Cool.
Okay, so
we're kind of getting there.
Was that kind of it? Really?
Yeah, there's a like little bit. The hideout doesn't like rotate around now. It's WASD, and you like float around the top, which there's more modules now, so it's less like an L, more like a square. L hideout, L update. No, it's more like a square now. So you're gonna have a Hall of Fame. I don't know where that's gonna sit, but it makes sense now that it's not just like linear. You can like move around, which is sort of fun, and you could spin it. It's kind of cool. What else was in here? Like they've changed some. I haven't gone through it all yet, but they've changed a bunch of the suppressors and the muzzle brakes. So I know that like the M4, I saw maybe it was Terratex put it up, but like they just don't get to anywhere near the same level of recoil as they did on the full meta versions. And I think it's the muzzle brake and the suppressor changes, which is, I mean, it is what it is, right? Like with the new recoil system, I'm not really sure what the numbers mean anymore, so it's hard to know. Like recoil does have an influence, obviously, on the jumpiness. Like using the PP19 at 30 recoil versus the MDR at 60 recoil versus the VSK at 80 recoil, you can see a distinct difference between them. But I don't know whether there's like, we know that BSG loves their hidden stats and blah blah blah. So I'm sure they've like changed a load of those. Like each gun does kind of feel different. Oddly, like the VSK, the camera recoil is like really high. and it jumps a lot. Like the whole frame jumps a lot. The PP19 is like no recoil at all. The MDR like jumps a bit, but it stabilizes quite quickly, so it kind of feels okay even on full auto. But like semi-auto is still really good. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to figure it all out. But yeah, so like I think just because of the fact that the suppressors have been changed in the muzzle brakes, that's already diminishing the gap between the top and the bottom, irrespective of the recoil changes, right? Because like, what's a stock M4 now? I've got one in my stash, I think.
That was like 80.
Yeah,
I
because
think
that's probably what it used
still,
to be.
yeah, 84. I think that's still what it used to be.
Because yeah, because they didn't really change it. Yeah, so it's 84 stock. And then I wonder how quickly I could put together one of these, one of these meta ones. Like min recoil, I guess. Well, I'll just do this in the background while we talk about the next item, and then I'll tell you in a second. Was there anything else on the list? Or did we actually finish?
Changes? I mean, there's changes to ammo that like we kind of talked about, but like it got moved around. It says the damage and armor. Oh yeah, we kind of talked. Like there's been some changes as well to damage and pen, which I mean, you have a video covering that.
Yeah, covering loads of that stuff. It's there's a lot of changes. Honestly, I think the most important changes in general for ammo is just to realize that almost everything is way higher in the traders now, like way higher. Like there's surprising things like M855, like actual M855, not 5601 or 5501. This is actual M855. It's like Peacekeeper 3.
Yeah.
That is where M855A1 was last wipe. So this is a huge change. We've gone from like, oh, it's a short wipe, so everyone can have fun, to welcome back to Tarkov, bitches. You're not getting any ammo. But it kind of like, yeah, there's a lot of people complaining about it, but I'm like, guys, like this comes hand in hand with the recoil, right? No, sorry, not recoil. This comes hand in hand with the armor system.
Yeah, and I mean, and recoil to an extent.
Yeah. Like they're the same. They're like two parts of the same thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like,
so,
you know, arguably, I feel like that's a good spot because the better armors have like air mid class 3 protection.
Yeah.
And that has M855. I think it has 35 pin, if I remember correctly.
I think it's the
either way, it's going to mess up.
31.
31. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna mess up.
So it goes through straight away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like, you know, there's plenty of, I mean, there's a handful of class 3 plates that will probably be around still. Yeah. But anyways, I agree. I think it's fine. I mean, I think it's just a better Tarkov experience in general, honestly. Just having more ammos relegated to in-raid only or crafting, and
yeah.
Because even now, I just feel like armor ammo pin is just kind of like in a weird spot where I don't know if it really is all that important, you know? I don't know. We'll have to see. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. So yeah, so like so a lot of stuff got pushed up. I actually have kind of my like little list here. I'll just go through a few. By the way, I've just finished building the M4. 45 is the minimum recoil now.
Yeah, that's a lot using less.
That's using like the RK2.
20 points less. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think it was, what was the old min recoil? 23?
Yeah.
I think using everything. So it's like 22 recoil points, but like, yeah, the system's completely different. If I like metarify this thing, I mean, I'm hoping that all these things are similar. I'm just guessing it right now. That's like 49 recoil and 55 ergo.
Yeah, that's a big difference. It sounds like
so 49 recoil versus the stock of 84 for like a meta gun. I mean, sounds a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they like really tank the suppressors then, huh? And
yeah. So yeah, ammo stuff. So yeah, I mean, they actually changed like some of the biggest changes. I would like people can watch the video if they want to see it, but like the biggest changes for me is progression wise, things like M855A1 going up to Peacekeeper 3, 56A1 is on Peacekeeper 4, 855A1 is just like completely gone from the traders. So that's like fighting raid only. Don't know whether it's a craft yet because obviously I can't see that, so I'm not sure right now. And then like 762 T45 is on Frapple 3. PS is quest locked. PP is level 4 traders. BP is not purchasable. Like the T45 being purple 3, that's crazy. Like I've got T45 and PS from scavs, but that's kind of how it should be, right?
Well, that is one thing I will say is I do feel like now that ammo's pushed up higher, it's kind of weird having scavs have like tier 3 trader ammo on them.
Kind of, yes. I know what you mean. You think they should have like worse ammo?
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
you're you're eating shit. They got like they
You
have
know
better
what?
ammo
Like
than you.
the way that the plate system is, I I actually don't know whether this is necessarily that bad. Like I don't like I don't know. In all seriousness, like would I rather scav have PS in an SKS or like HP? I'm actually not sure. Like PS is going to screw you up more just in a general sense, but
I guess it doesn't
HP
matter
sometimes you're
either
just going
way.
to die.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess it
You
doesn't.
know what I mean? Like
Well,
you get armpitted one time and you just it's like in more places where the scavs can just suddenly like one tap you.
I'm thinking more of the soft armor, but yeah, the definitely.
But you
Yeah,
won't
I mean,
die
there's
in
gonna
one
be
shot to
that.
PS, right? But like scavs with horrible
No,
things like
but
762 by 54 are HP, where you just get like one banged. It's just like, oh my god, it'll be really bad. So maybe it's okay, and they're kind of like part of the loot table. I think it's fine, and it's
I
not
don't.
crazy. It's not like they've got VP on them. We're only talking
Yeah,
about P45 and PS.
I don't know. Well, you know what's gonna happen is at least the meta's gonna be you scav to get your tier 3 ammo, and then that's how you play. That's how you play the game. I just think it's.
Oh
I just
yeah.
don't think it makes sense personally, but
Well, let's see. Let's see. I'm not sure. Yeah. So other stuff. So what else is interesting? So yeah, Match FMJ is Peacekeeper 2. It's kind of funny because you can buy the UMP, but you can't actually buy any bullets for it. You could buy something awful, but I think it's out of stock. What's come back though? SS190 is back on Peacekeeper 4. PS12B is back. The Ash 12. And Flechette and Piranha have changed places, which makes a lot of sense.
Makes more sense, yeah.
Magnum Buck is on Jaeger 3. And it's also gone from the Workbench 1. Because somebody asked me that yesterday and I checked. So you can't make Magnum Buck in Workbench 1.
Oh. I mean, that kind of makes sense given that Magnum's on Jaeger 3.
Yeah, I think they were scared. I think BSG were a bit scared of Magnum Buck. Well, I mean, I am.
Yeah, I was playing Factory because we were planting the package from Delivery from the Past there, and long story, I was fighting the scav, and he was like, 5 feet in front of me, but he was like on the other side of the container, but only his like arms were showing, and I was like, he was using 5.65 whatever, the one that does like 37 damage from your video. You know what I'm talking about, right? 6.5 millimeter buckshot.
Which one, sorry? Oh, well, Express or the 525, the like low one.
Yeah, well, I can't remember the numbers, but
okay,
anyways. But he was just like eating. Like I had to reload 2 Sega shots, dude. I was hitting him in the arms, and like eventually the last bullet, I just stopped hitting in the arms and went for his head. He died instantly. But I don't know if that's like the arm hitboxes, but like plus I hit him earlier in like the general area. Like I find scavs to be really tanky right now. Like
really, I'm finding the opposite. I find scavs are just like dying immediately. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know whether it's because
they have armor.
Maybe I keep hitting them sort of like I think in the sort of like neck area, and they're just like instantly going down. But I've been using like the MDR, so I've been using kind of more like precision-y guns.
Yeah, I've been
MDR with like a holographic on it. I had that for like 14 raids consecutively, so it was working nicely.
Maybe it's just a skill issue.
I don't know. I'm not sure. So yeah, like the actual with actual ammo itself, most of the things don't really matter too much. The SR2M BT got like super nerfed from 63 damage to 49 damage and 39 pen to 32 pen. But there's that new ammo, 7N42, which has replaced it. So that's got 38 pen. So that's like the new good pen ammo in that particular class. But I don't know how you get 7N42. I'm not really sure.
I'm
like BT was craft only
craft.
before. Yeah, I guess it's probably a craft. But it means that the top end ammo is now like a lot less damaging than it was. Like BT was 63.39. This new one is 45.38. So it's a lot lower in damage. So the SR2M has taken a big nerf on that basis. If you were using BT before, which honestly, no one really did. The other big change is BP. So 545 BP and BT have swapped places. BP is now like Omega powerful, and BT is nowhere near as powerful as it was before, which is kind of weird. So BP is now 46 damage and 45 pen, which is a lot. So BP is a bit like 5501. And BT has gone from 42 pen down to 37 pen. So it's now like 5601. They're much more analogous at this point.
Yeah.
BS got a buff. So it's like more damage. So from 40 damage to 43 damage, which I actually think is a good thing, right? That's quite a lot for BS. So it's like now significantly better than the Golnick, in my opinion. Like how many people are going to be using class 6? That matters even less now because it doesn't cover the whole thing. So I think a Golnick is just like actually just.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not useless, but just like it's just way too low in this new meta. So that's just kind of bad. PP doesn't seem to be purchasable anymore, which is really weird, unless they've updated that.
I wonder if you can craft it, because I think can you craft PP?
You can craft PP, you're right.
Or was that PRS? Or do you use PRS to craft PP? I can't remember.
I think you can craft PP, but no one ever did because you got it on Prep or 2.
Right.
But yeah, PP it's gone, and you can't buy it on the traders anymore. It's not there. So that's a weird one, because I mean PP was like the prevailing like giga meta of the past like 4 patches. I was just like, except for literally the last wipe, where I was like, get to level 14 and use 5, 6, and 1 for all eternity.
Right.
Other than that, I was just get to level 15, Prapor, AK-74U, and use PP, and just use that like all the way until you switch over to 5.56 after you've completed the cult and all that other rubbish. But yeah, PP is just gone, so you have to find that in raid now. You can get BT as a barter on Prapor 2. I imagine it's probably still, I don't know, what is it? The cans of like, is it Tushonka or something?
Yeah, I think it's like the taller Tushonka cans.
Yeah, I think it's that one. So you could probably still get BT, and BT's like good. It's a good bullet, but it's or funny barter, so it's going to be like market priced, which is interesting. Because actual BT you can only get lowest level 4, as for like a lot of these things. So this 545 is a big shake up, but there's quite a few like rounds with damage increase. Like PS went from 31 pen to 28. Doesn't really matter, but the damage has gone from 48 to 53, so it's probably a buff overall. PP actually did get a nerf. It was 36 pen before, but it's now 34 pen, so it's a little bit worse against class 4, but the damage also went up quite a lot from 44 to 50. So this is like maybe alleviating some of 545's problems of being low damage. And I know the pens have been like touched a little bit, but like BP's got more damage, BT's got more damage, BS has got more damage. Like they have upped all of them. So maybe. The only other like weird standout one was on 556, because a few things did get tweaked. But like none of it matters that much, except for Mark 318 Modo SOST.
Right. Yeah.
So I actually I went to have a look at what these things are, because SOST and RRLP, those were in Arena in the Blackjack preset, which I was using a little bit. So it turns out that RRLP stands for Reduced Ricochet Limited Penetration. I didn't know that. And SOST stands for like Special Operations Science and Technology or something. It was like some like new bullet that they tried to make.
Okay.
Anyway, that used to be in Tarkov. That used to be crap before. That was like 69 damage, nice, and 20 pen. But now it's 55 damage and 33 pen. So it's much more like a regular bullet. So it's not as good as 5.6A1, but it kind of gives you a step up from M855, which is 31 pen, without going all the way to 5.6A1, which is Peacekeeper 4, but SOST is not purchasable at all. So you have to find that in raid. So it's a bit weird right now.
Yeah, it's just weird.
I mean, I don't know. It feels like SOST like maybe should be purchasable, but
yeah,
I don't know where you'd really fit that. Like is Peacekeeper 2 too early for 855? And then you put SOST on Peacekeeper 3, and then M856A1 is on Peacekeeper 4. And like, I don't know. So a lot of people complaining about 855 being on Peacekeeper 3.
I personally think it's fine. I mean, this is kind of what I wanted for years.
Yeah. It is high. It's a high trader level for M855, but I know what you mean. Like, it kind of makes sense. Like, one weird thing about it is that, I started off as USEC, so I got given like buttloads of it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just some. That's what I mean. Is like I feel like there's some weird oddities there, because like the scavs can have this as well. Like I don't know. I just like to see. Like, given we just got a fragile patch, but that's sort of like asterisk there, unless you can hit the plate. I don't know.
I know it's weird, right? It's really weird. Yeah, that's kind of the ballistic stuff. Oh, actually, the one other thing I want to talk about before we finish is on this section is the ammo for the Sig Spear. So I've not seen the Sig Spear yet. It's going to be kind of expensive. It does look like it costs quite a lot of money. I don't know which trade you get it from. I can't remember.
I think
Probably
it's quest locked via Peacekeeper. Take a look today.
It's probably Peacekeeper 4. Yeah, you're right. It's quest locked. It costs $1,860 US. So it's a lot, right? The base gun is.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that does sound like a lot of money, but it does come with an optic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit like the G28, where it's an expensive weapon, but it comes with the Alpha 4 rings and the Tango 6T, which is a 1-6. It's like the Voodoo. So maybe that'll be really good. Who knows? So that might make it like way less problematic because the Voodoo in those lot, like usually the Schmidt and Bender 1-8 is like 70k. I mean, this is later on in the wipe, but like 70, 80k. And then the Voodoo is like 100, 110, and the Razor's like 120, 130. So if that ends up being the same for this thing, then it might actually seem quite good value. And it comes with suppressor as well. I had a quick look at the modifications. I don't think you can really change it, but it's got 65 vertical recoil, which seems low.
Yeah.
And the ammo is absolutely cracked out of this world.
Is it cracked?
Yes. So there's only 2 bullets for it. Sig FMJ deals 80 damage and 36 pen. So that's basically like BCP FMJ.
Yeah.
Except, this thing has got 65 recoil. If you look at like the G28, for example, stock preset for the G28 has, I guess it's got 74 recoil. I guess it's not that, maybe it's not that bad. But then hybrid, Sig hybrid is 72 damage and 47 pen.
Yeah, that one's interesting because it's kind of like.
So it's like 762 BP with
right.
the damage of 762 NATO.
Yeah.
Available on Peacekeeper 4, and it costs about 1,200 a bullet. The reason why this is good is because 762 NATO has the issue of M62 not really being quite good enough.
Yeah.
At 44 pen, and M62 being like way overkill and really hard to get.
Yeah,
whereas
basically
this,
like
it's right in the middle.
M62 nowadays is like basically alternative M80 effectively.
What is, sorry?
M62 is effectively like just an M80 round.
Yeah, because M80 is what, 41 pen, and M62 is 44 pen, and it's like
something like that. Yeah,
it's still not like an insta pen through class 5 using the old calcs. Like, who knows what's going to happen now? But yeah, I mean, it depends on kind of how the plates work. But
that's the thing I'm most curious about, and I feel like I can't talk about ammo without getting the plates off first.
Yeah, you're quite right, because like, what does a class 5 plate do? Like, will hybrid pen it or not? Will you have to shoot it 6 times before it goes through? I think the reason why I think this is going to be powerful is because it's the same reason why 762 BP is powerful. Anything over like 50 damage with good penetration just ends up being good because it 2 hits you, right? And this thing has got 72 damage. So it's crazy. It's in the same regime as to why people like 762 by 54, why they like 762 NATO, and why they like 762 by 39. And it's in that same bundle. So I think irrespective of what happens with plates, like, this is going to be good no matter what, because you'll just, if you don't hit them in the plate, you'll definitely kill them in 2 hits for sure. And so, and this gun goes full auto too. The Sig Spear. Maybe you can't make it as like powerful as the RD though. You're making me question myself now, actually, because now I'm thinking about it. It's like, is it actually gonna be that good? Like, I don't know if it's as powerful as like an RD with BP. I'm not sure.
I forgot about the other ammo because I looked at the ammo earlier and I remember seeing that it's kind of like a halfway house between 7.62 39 and the M80 rounds NATO because it has like almost the same damage and almost the same pin as like M80 but anyways the hybrid one does look pretty good, but I don't know, maybe I have to see. It's 800 rounds RP. Actually, it's probably is gonna be decent. You can get a 25 rounder mag.
You can, which is quite good actually, because you can only get big mags right now on the M1A and the SA58.
Yeah, you can slap one
7.62 NATO.
It comes with its own stock, but it's not a good stock.
No, you can. It's got the same as the MCX. You can change it out for the little tube thing. I've got it down to 60 just in the preset thing here. I don't think it really has many mods. There's not much you can actually
No,
do with it.
no. But yeah, I think 60s were 60-42. Yeah,
I think this is
42
going to be really
ergo.
powerful though. 25 rounders with like 50 ergo, 60 recoil is what I've got this to. With the bullets that are really high power.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like it
think
does a lot more than. It's like that. It's like, oh, I don't have to take terrible recoil / semi-auto and tiny magazines with 7.62 NATO anymore, and I get more damage than 7.62 by 39 BP, but I still
yeah.
get full auto. You don't get drum, so it's kind of like trade-off. I don't know.
I think you're right. I think it'll be pretty good. Yeah, because like as you said, you're trading off even like the RD. Was it the RD or is it the? No, it's the mutant. You couldn't put drums in it in the long barrel.
You can't put the 50 drum. You can put the 70 drum, but it starts to hurt ergo a
Okay,
lot more. You can only use the 50 drum on the RD.
okay. I mean, it's effectively an RD that shoots faster with a smaller magazine and probably better ergo. I mean,
The RD
51
gets quite good
ergo.
ergo though, so
Yeah, that's true. The mutant's kind of the one that doesn't get as good.
yeah.
But you're getting like, dude, you're going.
600 RPM though, this baby.
Yeah, I mean, you're going. That's like a 33% increase, roughly. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah,
We'll
I think
see.
it's really good as well. I think it's definitely going to be up there.
Yeah,
And the fact that you can buy
you don't have to mod it a lot
hybrid from
either.
Peacekeeper, that's the clincher for me. And that's where I'm drawing the line. That's why I've decided this thing's good. You could buy hybrid from Peacekeeper 4,
Yeah,
and
it'll
it's like
probably be a good late
1,200
game.
rubles. They're definitely going to have to get rid of that. This thing is going to be everywhere.
Yeah,
Or make the
probably.
gun more expensive. Like it's already like 200 and something K. You can't really mod it though. People are used to spending 450 on an M4. Now they might, with the fact it comes with the scope, like they might need to make this thing 300,000 rubles, or make the ammo more expensive or something. I think the ammo is too cheap.
Yeah, I'd say remove it.
They want
'Cause
people to use it, but
BP
I'd
is.
like check.
You
Yeah,
know what
but
I would be
$10 a
for?
bullet, like, man, so good.
I'd be for
What?
barter. If you could barter for
Oh,
the ammo.
to trade on the ammo for the good ammo. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You
and
can use FMJ. That's fine. 80 and 36. That's fine. That's like
yeah,
that's worse than M80. So that's fine, right? You can use that. That's okay. It's like BCP FMJ. Cool. But buy that all you like. Hybrid though, yeah, put it on a barter. Let the market decide.
yeah. Just don't do a teapot like they did with the AVT.
Yeah, like there
That
is
was a
still
bad one last
they
time.
have to think about the supply and
Yeah,
demand a bit, right? You have to pick an item that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or a collection of items that makes sense. That's also not going to break something else.
yeah. It's a tricky task. I'll admit.
Yeah. Maybe it's going to be maybe you could put it as one of those new like what are they called?
Pack of
Like Funko
noodles.
Pop dolls. Not pack of noodles, no. Oh god, I literally have not found a single pack of noodles.
I found one. I don't know if I still have it. I can't. I might have died with. I think I died with it because
Where was it?
I found it on the new map. The new map.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Oh.
I think I found it in the container or something. I don't think I found
Hmm.
it loose, but it's cool.
Tower saying in chat, by the way, that IRL 0.277/6.8. I guess that
Mhm.
depends on whether you're using imperial or metric. I think they're the same thing. He said it was literally designed to defeat Class 6 armor. Compared to M80, the 0.277 will defeat Class 3 with sheer velocity, kind of how M193 defeats Class 3 steel plates, because it goes above 3,200 feet per second.
Hmm.
I love that. It just goes, it's a speedy boy. That's pretty cool. Class 3 is roughly Ghost 4 to 5, he says. Interesting. And that it'll be easier to hit targets at range compared to 760 by 51 because 6.8 should shoot much flatter than 762, but not quite as flat as 338 Lapua.
Yeah, the muzzle blast or the ammo was like 900.
Yeah, which is
MS.
weird. I mean, I am assuming that it's using the base ammo it's using in the spear. Obviously, I can't test it, but the ammo
Sure.
that it's using in the spear is FMJ. Because when you
Yeah.
go to the presets and look at the spear, I mean, I guess you've got it up. it says the muzzle velocity of the gun there is
Right.
795, which actually isn't that fast. But that's without any bullets in the magazine. That's using the calculation for presumably FMJ. Now I don't know whether hybrid is supposed to be much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Did it say? Was it in the handbook? I think it's kind of proportional. So FMJ. Oh, what's it called? Sig. Yeah. So okay, it is here. It is here. So Sig FMJ is 899 default.
Okay.
And what did I say it was on the gun on the Sig Spear?
Well, I figured it. The barrel debuffs it from 899 to 788.
Oh, so it's a big debuff. Okay. And then Sig Hybrid is 914. So yeah, it's about going to be about the same thing. So it's going to be about 800 meters per second then, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe not as quick as we were hoping.
It's still 800 is pretty good.
800 is right. What do you get out of like an RSAS, for example?
Mm,
An
probably in the-
RSAS gets you 796.
Oh.
So it's about the same.
Yeah.
Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. I don't really know.
I guess the one thing I want to talk about before we close out is recoil. It's definitely better than what it used to be by a long shot.
Mhm.
Specifically because, for me at least, you can see your front posts. Like, that is just,
Oh,
I don't know.
the fixing the flip is huge.
Yeah, that's just like like I you know, you can have your opinions, but I just feel like objectively it is so much better than what it used to be.
The foundation of this system is
Yeah.
actually much more functional.
Yeah.
Like it fixes both iron sights and LPVOs, as well as
I didn't
making
think
lots of
about
like red
those.
dots and stuff working nicely. Yeah, like all the blacking out stuff is like mostly gone.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's really good. I'm very pleased about that. The one thing I'm not pleased about is I don't know. I don't know how valuable recoil is going to be, like when you do modding and such.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the relative, like what it means. Like what's now? I used to have like a sense of like the difference between 30 vertical recoil and like 60. You know, whereas now that's like really shot. But I guess my question is like or my statement is I was hoping that maybe ergo would be more relevant, but I was looking at like some builds and it's kind of the same problem that's always been the problem is like these ergo parts are just like I just can't really wrap my head around it. Like I was looking at the HK and like if you want to use the ergo part, right? It's like you get 12 ergo, but you could use, and it's a really short one. So like, and sometimes these really short ones, you lose out on attachments like your grip. Like that's like you don't want that. But let's just say you do that, or you can go with the recoil one, quote unquote, which is like 10 ergo minus 4 recoil. It's like it just feels wrong to me to trade 4 recoil for 2 ergo. You know what I mean? But maybe now that's the thing that makes sense. But I don't know. It feels like the issue for me is like the parts that give ergo are just bad versus the parts that give recoil and ergo. You know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're gonna have to see exactly like what the difference is between the full build and the stock build, and like how much you need to bother going down the recoil path. It's hard to know right now. So we'll see. But I mean, overall, yeah, I think it's the most important part of all of this is just gonna be like, what does it look like in the end game? Like, is the recoil just way too low? Is it going to be just the time to kill with the armor plates and the recoil together going to be, like a doubling up, and it's going to be just way too crazy? It's hard to know at this point. That's the main question for me. Like, it feels good right now, and everyone's praising it, but when we're all getting completely laser beamed by, meta M4s or whatever, like the M4 is like eminently usable right now with irons and with LPVOs at like 88 recoil. When you take the recoil down to 45, it's going to be half of what it is now, right? And it's already really good. Now, I've had some people saying like, oh, scopes are so much better. Like I can use the L cannon 4 times in full auto. I'm like, like boys, you're going to be getting full autoed from like 200 meters away through voodoos and stuff. Like,
it's
is
a little
this necessarily good for the end? I'm not sure. I actually don't know. So I'm reserving judgment, and I don't want to be too negative because the beginning part of this wipe feels amazing, and people who are like not Tarkov mains also think the game feels amazing because Tarkov feels very weird to people coming in from other games. Right? They're just like what is this? Like the recoil system's so bizarre, so odd. It's counter to most people's intuition. And I've seen a lot of good feedback on Twitter from like people who play a decent amount of Tarkov but aren't like Tarkov mains from other games. People who've been like pro players and stuff, and they're like, oh man, this wipe feels so good. Like I'm winning fights that it feels like skill based rather than random. Like, it feels like so decent. And I don't want to like killjoy this lovely experience that we're having as a community. Like now that the servers are fixed, everybody seems to be having an amazing time. This is like by far the best patch that BSG have ever released for the game. It's like the golden, and with Arena as well, like just mulling on in the background. We actually forgot to talk about Arena, but with that, like going on in the background, it's got its own problems. But the Tarkov universe is really in a good shape right now, like probably more so than any time over the like maybe even since I've been playing.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's a very like okay. I'll put it to you like this: for my expectations for BSG, it's a good patch. Outside of that, it's very mid in my opinion, because I feel like Recoil is like, as I said in the context of BSG, it's really good compared to what we went for before. Whereas now it's just like I've experienced better recoil systems in my opinion, so it just like feels like why couldn't we just do that? It's like, and it's literally like it's Tarkov mods. Like you could just copy it, like because my kind of issue is like, as you're saying, when it comes like we've made the game feel better. Guns feel good to shoot, but we're still at the same, conflicting point, contentious point, I feel like, in the community where it's like you just full auto. It's like, why am I ever gonna single tap? Like, I don't know. I find it like really absurd to put the gun on semi because I could just like tap the gun if I ever want to tap, but then like half the time I never want to tap.
But to be honest, tapping is actually really powerful. I don't know whether you've like tried it a lot, but
I'm using a Sega 9, so yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. But like it's actually really strong. Like especially if you're using like an AKM or something.
I mean, of course it is, because you can see what your follow-up shots, right? Because before you would tap and you're not getting any of the benefits of the compensation, right?
Yeah, but like now, even with the PP19, for example, like the recoil, it does shake when you're on full auto, especially if you just left mouse button. Whereas if you just go click 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 click, click and just try to like semi-auto it as fast as possible, it's like much more laser beamy, but obviously at the expense of time to kill. So it's kind of a judgment call. I don't know. I personally feel like it's feeling quite good. Like I'm not sure what else. I don't know what else you would want out of the recoil system. Like, what else do you actually want? Like, out of the modding system, I totally understand that some of the patches and mods that have been produced by other people and in other games are actually superior to kind of the recoil ergo thing. Like, recoil ergo is great at face value, but having balance and stuff like that, like it could be much better. But like the actual recoil system, I'm not sure what else we want out of this. To be honest with you, I personally don't want anything else out of it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't used this gun before, because I mean, really the only guns I use is 9mm, but it's 7. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I have to play more, but like, I mean, for me, the thing was like if you want to like disincentivize full auto, you punish via, which this kind of does it, but it's after the first like climb. Like it's completely vertical.
Yeah.
Here. I know it's on 12 FPS.
I still think, and I've said this previously, I still think it should be like a V as it climbs, and it gets wider and wider, and then the full auto pattern is like wide at the top. I still think it should be like that. I still think it probably is too tight horizontally. Maybe.
Yeah.
But like when you're using it and when you're pulling down and compensating for it, it still feels okay, and it makes burst feel quite good. It makes single feel good. It means if you full auto too much, it goes shaky. Like it's a tiny tweak, but like maybe it would be better, maybe not. I don't know.
I'm seeing the shakiness, because like the shakiness on the PP19, I felt like it wasn't a big deal.
It's very small.
Like I don't even notice it, honestly. Which when I was testing this, I was like, oh, okay, that's not what I expected. Because the shakiness here is like basically what I was describing, but I guess in Tarkov SP, it's much more essentially like imagine, you just have like an exponential growth for vertical and horizontal. So if you
Mhm.
infinitely, you know, if you had 1,000 round mag, when you're in the 900s, your screen's like just going crazy. Was kind of what I was, that's what I would like. Because I too, I don't know, I too have like some concerns slash I just think the meta is going to be very spray heavy. But
Maybe we're gonna have to see. Like, it's really early days, so it's so hard to tell right now.
yeah,
Like, what is going to be the full ramifications? Like, I don't even really know. Like, and this is the thing. That's why I don't want to sort of dampen the spirits, because it feels great in the early game with this particular ammo balance of like the early game and the armor that everybody's wearing right now. But I'm just not sure how this like translates to the later tier stuff. We're gonna
mm,
just have to wait and see. Like, there'll be complaints, of course. We get towards the end of next wipe in 3 months' time. People are gonna be like, "Oh, BSG needs to address blah 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 blah." L
oh
patch,
yeah,
L
I mean,
wipe, L devs, L life, L streamers,
yeah,
L privilege, L everything. But we haven't got there
yeah.
yet. We've
It's
got to
just
just
frustrating
embrace
for
the
me
love.
because I just feel like there's free real estate for them to capitalize on, but I don't know why that's the case. Oh, one cool thing that's pretty neat. If you could drop, maybe this was this in your video? You can drop your armor and then scroll and select mod to like swap plates out.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's a really cool feature. That's
yeah.
that's
It's
a
like
smart way of using their existing systems.
it is. It's like the shortcut way of like not having hands.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like,
mean,
rather than having
yeah.
to add hands, it's like the only time that it matters, except for when idiots like me are playing no secure container hardcore with only pockets, and so I can't actually attach the 30 rounder mag to the gun because I don't have anywhere to put it. Like, that was the one other awkward time. Like, you almost, well, actually no, yes, because it was the secure container, because you couldn't put mags in the secure,
Yeah, yeah.
and because I only had pockets, I had no way of attaching the 30 rounder. I discarded it off the gun to try and reload it with ammo, and then had no way of actually reattaching it to the gun. Which
Yeah,
is really weird.
I've been in that situation before.
Like, I don't really want to say like every item should have that mod option. That doesn't sound like a good idea, but it is weird that you can't do that. I don't know.
Yeah. I think you're
Yeah.
right. Good. I thought that was a pretty clever way of doing it because yeah,
Mm,
you can't change plates while you're wearing the armor, and I was like, oh, so we have to have room in our backpack to fit the armor, and then we gotta like have enough room to have the plate in the backpack to then swap it. Like I was like, dude, this is gonna be so
exactly.
annoying. But the way they did it, I thought it was pretty clever. So
Yeah.
shout out to them.
Yeah. That's some good
Uh,
stuff.
yeah,
That's some good stuff.
like I
I'm
said, for
certainly enjoying it.
for BSG, it's good.
Definitely. Definitely.
I think that's
So that's basically it. I mean, I'm going to make a note about Arena just at the end, just simply because, some people are interested in that as well. I haven't played it a lot, honestly, because the patch has come out. I know some people still don't have access, so that ongoing fiasco is still there. But basically, the latest patch to Arena, they just added all of the recoil, vaulting, left side shooting, and armor plate mechanics to the game. So now that the two are in tandem, the only thing that's kind of like controversial right now is about the matchmaker. Like, previously, the matchmaker was all done on ARP, basically your MMR,
Mhm.
which meant that if you drilled down a tree to one of the higher presets and then you wanted to swap and do a different tree, you were just then going to get annihilated for all eternity by people at your ARP using meta kits. So they've tried to address that slightly by making it so that you're match made both on ARP but also on gear score, like the MP rating, which is they've called meta points. I don't know why. It was like, it should just be a gear score. But it's an average over your last 5 games, and that's weird, right? Because that can be like gamed. You could just like play the free kit for 5 games and then use the ulting kit and just annihilate people because your average is like really low. So you'll get matched with people with a gear score somewhere between the average of your last 4 games plus. I don't know how many games it is, but imagine it's 5.
Yeah.
You play the TT kit 4 times for free, and then you play the ulting kit. You're going to be matched with people, I don't know, just a little bit higher than the TT kit with the ult in. So you're just going to stand on everyone's face. Whether people could be bothered to do that or not, I don't know. Like, you're kind of incentivized to use one kit over and over, so it probably will work for 99% of the player population. But it also means if you do decide to swap trees, then you're going to lose like 4 games in a row before it resets your gear score before you can actually like play properly. But it's better than it was, and it's the best that they can make quickly of the system that they've hung themselves on. Because the issue that they have is fundamentally is that the ordering is incorrect. You need to pick a kit first and then match. That's the reason why they can't do it that way. Like at the minute, you match and then pick a kit. That's why it has to be done through an average. They actually can't do it the other way because you match make first,
and then you pick a kit,
and then you pick a kit. So they have to then match you with other people based on the average of your last couple of games. You don't know what you're going to pick.
Okay,
because it's the wrong way around, and that's why they did it that way. You see, so that's the problem.
I see.
So they've like fixed it the best way they can, but yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if the average is like, what's the word? Like eternal. I guess that would be problematic because as you, like, everyone's gonna be the same.
Yeah, that'd be problematic. I think that would work. So anyway, as people said, it's better. I do think it probably works for 99% of the population because typically you go, one kit, next kit, next kit, next kit. You just go down the tree. So other than when you swap kits completely, unless you're like trying to swap and change all the time, which I think people typically aren't because they're trying to level the stuff, then most of the time it's going to work like okay. So that's the thing. I haven't played much Arena since the patch. I tried to play today, but it took like 8 minutes to get into a game. I was just like, the one time I wanted to play a fast game of Tarkov, it took as long to get into this bloody usual Tarkov raid. And people were like, oh, I've been getting in like 40 seconds. I was like, why? Why me? But they've added a new map called Chop Shop, which I was trying to play. Maybe that's why it took so long, because I just did Chop Shops. So it's some more like car garage thing, but I've not actually been on it yet. So I can't really say too much about it. The only other thing that I did actually forget to talk about the stats a bit. We can talk about that next time, though. We're going to run out of time. Maybe we talk about it next time. We'll talk about the end event stats and stuff because there's like some interesting things there. But yeah, I don't want to cut it short, so we'll move that to next time so that we don't run out of time.
Cool. Anything else?
I don't think so. I'll say Tarkov TV in 5 minutes. Really?
This is New Year's special Tarkov TV? Yeah.
Huh. I wonder what that is. Weird. I'm actually going to be going offline after this. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. How odd. Maybe I'll have to catch up on it later.
Yeah, I'll probably do the same catch up later.
See. We'll see. We'll talk about it next week, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. No, I think that's it. I think that's it for now. I'm sure there's going to be loads more stuff next week, given it's early wipe. But yeah, we will see. I think that's the bulk of the patch notes and everything.
One quick shout I wanted to mention because that just popped in my head is there's I think it's mechanic level 1. There's an AK 100 series metal stock that you can buy, and you can attach it to your Bear AKMs AK 74 Ns or Ms or whatever. Anyways, you trade like 1 recoil for 5 ergo. Like trades like that, I'm totally cool with. Because I really want ergo to be more meaningful. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. It's early. I feel like the ones that will be meaningful for is the bullpups. Like I feel like those have gotten better because I know we're at the end, but you can't really reduce the recoil on them because of the way that they function. Like they have no stock. They just kind of like have a base, high base. So because recoil has gotten better in general, it's fine that you can't really, like, you don't really need to put recoil reduction on it because it wasn't good to put recoil reduction on it anyways. So, and because they have a high ergo, it's like you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, maybe. Like, I wonder if possibly bullpups are now better. Yeah. Maybe significantly better. I'm not sure.
Yeah, could be. I mean, at the minute, it just seems like every gun is good.
Yeah.
This is how it feels. So I don't really know. Yeah, maybe you're right though, because you get high ergo, so it's like, and you get high ergo for free, basically.
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, I don't even need to try. I just get high ergo, and recoil doesn't matter. So yeah.
As you said at the top end, what does a 40 recoil M4 look like? What does a 30 recoil, SMG look like?
Exactly.
So we'll see.
We shall see.
All right. Next week. Sounds like we got some Tarkov TV stuff to cover, maybe, and look forward to that. And we will catch you all next week.
Bye-bye.